Hello and welcome to another episode of the Never a Straight Answer podcast, the podcast that aims to cover a wide range of topics from conspiracy theories to popular culture and news. I'm your host Gaz, and joined in the Never a Straight Answer bunker, you know him, he's my co-host, he's Mr. Taylor.
Well, hey, good evening everybody. Welcome one and all.
Welcome, and thank you for joining us for another episode.
Yeah.
Oh, you're in for a treat tonight.
Yes, you so.
We're going to be joined by a very special guest. He's a spiritualist, a mystic, who's a yogi.
Yes, he is.
Not to mention being a stand-up comedian and a TV and movie actor.
Yeah.
Wajid Hassan will be joining us later on in the studio. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
He's going to be discussing a lot of things tonight. I'm sure you're going to love this.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt.
We'll be discussing his life, his book, spirituality, the coming age, alien life. He's a proper super uplifting guy as well, so I know you're going to enjoy it. We're in for a really good chat.
Good treat there.
So make sure you stay tuned for that.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Well, we've got a lot going on in the show this week, actually.
We have, yes.
In fact, we have. Before all that, though, what have you been up to this week?
Me, just been looking into, Ouija boards.
Ouija boards?
Yeah.
I'll give you a little fact. Do you know where they came from?
I do.
Do you? Go on, then.
Yeah, from a game company in America. I can't remember.
It was MB, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
From the makers of Monopoly and the guys who brought you Scrabble.
Do you know where they got the name from, though?
No, I don't know, actually.
They actually asked the board.
Did they?
Yeah, and then they asked it, what did it mean? And it said, good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Did you ever do a Ouija board as a kid? We did them, but we made them up. Like, we drew our own.
Yeah,
we never got the licensed, approved Ouija board or Ojo.
I have done one when I was a little twat, but
it was a little twat.
Yeah, but and it was in school as well. It was in the Olmec room, so a couple of people.
Yeah, I
were
can
there
imagine you lot going, "Gee, I would do as a kid caned to death in this classroom. Let's try and raise him."
Oh well. You know, there's.
He got 40 of the best.
He did, and he
devastated. So
and nothing really happened there. But to be honest, after watching that last night and a bit more detail.
What did you watch? I was just watching a documentary about Ouija boards.
Well, it was basically there's a program where this guy asks the questions to two people who believe in it, and they ask an expert who doesn't believe in it.
Yeah.
And basically ask certain questions to see what the answers are, to just basically find out the truth. That's all he wants, just to find out the truth. And then basically you get your conclusion by your own matter on what you've heard and what you agree with. Yeah,
there was one game that I always wanted, and if anyone ever sees one on a car boot sale, please do get it for me. I will reimburse you. What was it called? It was an ESP game.
All right.
Was it Kendrick's or something like that? It was great. It's like it's still a board game. I love the fact that it's still a board game, but there's loads of ESP.
Oh, I'm thinking it's a video game.
ESP. No, it's an old school 1960s, 1970s board game. Okay. I'm not sure it's MB or anything like that. I think it might be Kendrick's ESP.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. Right. And it's, remember that scene at the beginning of Ghostbusters when it's like,
oh yes,
what he's holding the cards up and it's like what's behind the card. You've got to use your extra sensory perception to find out what or try and guess.
Unless
what
you're a woman and you'll get through straight away.
Oh yeah, Peter Bateman will just be like, hey, that's correct.
Yeah. Do you want dinner? You win dinner tonight with me.
About 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
it'll be one of them. Well, I want that game anyway. But so we can do. We'll, if we ever get it, we'll play on the show.
Hey, yeah, that's a good idea.
But, I do. It's before my time, but I still remember seeing it somewhere and thinking, yes, I want that.
You have to go to some boot sales when
they're
back open.
Yeah, I'm sure these car booters itching to get
rid of it.
out, and just to get out and car boot.
Oh yeah.
You love it.
I think a lot of people are, not just the car booters.
I've been watching My Name is Earl again. Basically, I actually tweeted the producer today. Said, I demand an ending. Demand it.
You demand him to go back to work and end it?
Yeah, well, they left us on a cliffhanger and it got cancelled, and I'm sick of it. I'm so sick of watching shows and investing my time into shows and then getting cancelled. And Jason Lee's such a good actor, and I think I seen an interview with him or read an interview somewhere where he was like, I'd be happy if we just got like a 3-part miniseries just to close it off.
Yeah, but didn't Lost go like that as well?
No, Lost got a conclusion at least. But it was like there was loads of shows, The Last Man on Earth, People of Earth, both kind of really good. Well, People of Earth was alright, but Last Man on Earth was brilliant.
Now, I've never seen Lost yet, but everyone I've spoke to who watched it has come out with different interpretations of the ending.
Okay.
So how was the ending?
Well, no, it's how you interpret it, isn't it? It's the same with anything. I mean, it's like if it leaves it open to interpretation, then you can kind of take what you want from that. But when it point blank says to be continued at the end of the episode and then leaves you with nothing and no return of a new series or anything, then you kind of like, as a fan who's invested the time, then it sucks. It sucks. Yeah.
Space Above and Beyond. I remember that there was they did 2 series of it on BBC Two, and I watched it. I loved it, so I invested in it. And then all of a sudden, no, we're not buying the next. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It's like you're joking, right on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
On surviving or
like
not.
I say, I text I text him. I just got him in my phone there. Like I was like, pull him up.
Yeah. Right. What you do next week?
I just fucking tweeted him saying, I demand
conclusion. Did you? You demanded.
I did. I demanded and said, God damn it. So we'll see. But
we'll see if it comes back then.
In this little My Name is Earl rabbit hole, I found out that Jason Lee's actually a pretty sick photographer as well.
Okay, well, why don't you try on his nice-natured side next?
What, the calmer? I'd like to say that I was a very calmer person.
Yeah, it sounded
myself.
like it when you emailed him. Yeah, I want you to conclude it now, son.
Excuse me. Let's look at it's a show about karma, right? And actually this fits in really nicely to tonight's show as well, right? Because let's put it this way. So karma, all the fans have invested in this producer's project. We've all loved it. We've gone on a journey with him. Yeah, right. And then we've been cut off, right?
Yeah.
So
hey, that's life,
well,
mate.
where's that's that? Well, no, that's the karma should be on his now. Do you know? So if he gets a few goddammits every now and again, I'm pretty sure that's justified.
But then again, like what you said to me about Lost, it's your interpretation how it should finish.
To be continued.
In your mind.
Red Dwarf did it as well, though, didn't he? Where he went, like Only the Good Die Young episode, and it was like, and then it just.
I think filmmakers and that just fucking with our minds, mate.
Don't do it.
What I mean?
Well,
it's just like, let's get him confused.
I don't want to ramble on too much this bit, but I've been looking into binary codes as well and codes in general.
Yes.
It's pretty funny because I put up a bit of a cryptic code on Twitter.
You did, and well
done. Yeah, well done. Loads of people got it. I was well impressed actually. There was loads of people like, yep.
I got that.
Smashed
I can read binary.
To be fair, if I saw binary on a tweet, I'd be like, what's
what
that?
The hell?
As well, to be fair. So I knew a few people would be diving on that.
I think it's a Matrix.
Something like that. Well, I hope people dive on this as quick. Patreon.
Oh, yes, please.
Help us keep the lights on. We can't make this episodes and more content. We're planning on making more content. But we can't do it without your help. And this is how you can help us out. Go to patreon.com/neverastraightanswer. And you can get in on a couple of tier levels there.
Yeah.
We're also on Buy Me a Coffee /NASAPod.
Oh, I love a coffee.
Whichever way you choose to help us.
Any kind of donation would help.
And support the channel.
Yeah.
Then, it's all good.
Yes, it is. And we thank you all.
And, seeing it.
Yeah.
Well, we've got something exciting now.
Oh, yeah.
We've got this week's Chain Connections. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
So, actually, do you know what?
Well,
I think our winner this week needs to come on the show.
I totally agree with you.
In fact, I think she should have her own little segment.
Box. Yeah.
Do you know what? In fact, I was thinking, do you know what was that game show where you have the the genius. They have the smart asses who they bring out, and they pit them up against like a know-it-all.
Oh, you're on about eggheads.
Eggheads. She should go on it. She should beat an egghead.
Oh yeah. Why not? Yeah.
Our winner this week again.
Oh yes,
is Harriet. People are going to think this is fixed, but she is fast.
She is. She's on the button.
She gets in quick, and it's first correct answer.
Yeah.
So I am fair.
Yeah, there could have been loads more, but she got there first.
She says she's a big Dan Brown fan, so she wouldn't have got it if she wouldn't have read Angels and Demons. So thank you, Dan Brown.
Yeah.
And the answer this week was, of course, the CERN Hadron Collider.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah.
Located at CERN in Switzerland.
Yeah.
When was it switched on?
It was switched on September 10th, 2008.
There you go.
Yeah.
She also added, she liked last week's episode. She said it was good hearing a photographer's perspective.
Yes,
I thought that was quite nice.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's true.
All right.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Yeah.
So we got a bunch more clues.
Oh, yes, we have.
So pay attention to Mr. Taylor, because he only said this once.
He's the only once.
And, we're going to deliver those now. So if you want to get involved and potentially be next week's winner, we didn't actually give Harriet her fanfare, which is here. Congratulations. She totally deserves it.
Again, she definitely does. Brainbox.
If you want to compete and be our Brainbox of the week, then you know what to do.
You do.
Pay attention to Mr. T. What's our first clue?
Yes, our first clue today is, where were you when blank happened? I know where I was.
It could be a number of things, actually. That could be anything.
Yeah, could be.
Do you know what? Actually, first thing that popped to my head was Princess Diana, but...
Yes, yeah. Or 9/11.
Yeah, actually. Yeah. Well, come on, give us the next clue.
Okay. The second one is considered to be the start of conspiracies that the government are...
Again, could be anything.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
It could be. And the last one is, you got to get it by this, Mr. Jack Ruby.
Ooh.
Mr. Jack Ruby.
Jack Ruby.
What was he famous for?
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, if you think you know what the answer is, you need to get in touch. You can do that by sending us a tweet over at NASA_never on Twitter, or you can get on to us on email at neverstraightanswer@gmail.com.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah, well, if you know what the answer is, I think I've got an inkling, but... right or wrong, we'll shout you out.
Yeah.
And maybe next week you can be up there with Harriet on our leaderboard. Harriet is just stormed ahead with 5 points. I think Alistair's got 2.
Yes, he has, yes.
And I'll have to check for the rest. Because, you're not pulling your socks up, are you? You need to get more correct answers in there.
Come on, I know there's more brain boxes out there.
Well, this week's episode is brought to you in part by Audible. Again, great.
Yeah.
A great way of listening to audiobooks and making the most of every moment.
Yeah.
Put them on in the background. Do you know what I mean? Have a listen.
Yeah.
And good little option today, because obviously you get one free audiobook of your choice to keep even if you cancel. Prime customers get 2 audiobooks in their trial. You can choose from a wide range of world-leading authors. Audiobooks including bestsellers, new releases, sci-fis, romances, mysteries, classics and more.
And including our guests tonight.
Exactly, yeah. I was about to say that. It's all right. No, you're well in. Great minds and all that.
Yes, yes.
Well, yeah, definitely, yeah. We'll be putting a link in the description for tonight's guest's book, which is also available on Audible in audiobook, read by the author.
Yeah.
You can download and listen to a number of bestsellers and enjoy books from...
For nothing.
Well, say for nothing. You pay $7.99. You get one book or 2 books a month if you want to continue. But like I say, cancel any time and you get to keep them.
Could continue for a little while and then, you might not need any more books and then just bam.
Well, there you go. So this week we're joined on the show by a very special guest. He's a spiritualist, mystic and yogi. He's a stand-up comedian with over 20 years experience in the industry as a voiceover artist for commercials, not to mention his various roles in TV and movies. He's the author of the book The Struggle for the World Sanity. Joining us tonight, thank you very much, the very funny Mr. Wajid Hassan. How are you doing?
Welcome. Hey, great to be on your show, Gaz, Taylor. Wonderful. Thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks.
Pleasure indeed.
Yeah.
So how are you doing? We want to talk to you about a number of things tonight because, like I say, you're a local boy near us, up in Rochdale, Manchester.
I was raised in Rochdale. Yep, many moons ago.
In fact, you're going to have to elaborate a little bit more on this. You were raised in Manchester, but you brought over from Pakistan when you were 3 years old, was you?
Yeah, my parents moved to England when I was 3, and we lived in Rochdale. I went to Newbold Infants School, and then went to St. Peter's Church of England Junior School till the age of 10, and then we moved to London. And then from London, I went to high school in the East End of London. And then after a few years, I moved to America. So I lived in Los Angeles for over 30 years, and then recently I moved to North Carolina here near Raleigh, and I've been here a few years.
So was it your career that actually kind of led you to cross the pond over to the States, or was it kind of just a journey that you found yourself? You liked moving around, or what was the situation that led you to move over to the States from the UK?
I was losing my tan. I was turning white in England.
It happens in the air. It happens. You don't get much sun.
So I had to move to sunny California. I actually had a technical background. I worked for a company based in Birmingham. I was a field service engineer and covering southern England. And then when I moved to the States, I continued. I worked for TRW at their computer maintenance division, worked as a field service engineer there as well. And then later on, got into comedy and acting, which was an interesting...
Yeah, I was going to say it's a bit of a kind of a traverse, isn't it? Like a bit of a sidestep. So how did that come across? How did that come about?
Well, it was very funny because eventually, I left the company. I kind of started on my own, and then I ended up. I had this small computer repair shop in Hollywood, and this lady came in, and actually at that time, my spiritual yoga master, Dr. George King, he passed away around that time back in 1997. And I went into a kind of a depression, and my wife at the time, she said, well, in high school, your drama teacher, pleaded for you to get into comedy and acting because I could make the people at the school laugh. I went up in front of them. And it's something I never pursued, so I decided to take some stand-up comedy lessons and hit the open mics in, like the Comedy Store and Laugh Factory, and I was okay with that. And then this lady came into the store, and I fixed her Apple computer, and she kept looking at me. And so I said, why do you keep looking at me? She said, well, you have an interesting face. I said, so? She said, well, I'm a casting director. And I said, so? I didn't know what a casting director was. And she said, well, let's see if we can get you an agent. So she got me an agent. And
that easy.
And I started booking commercials and parts in movies and stuff like that. So... I guess it was meant to be.
Yeah, of course.
Well, yeah,
this is it. It sounds like one of those when you say right place at the right time. But I mean, it's like you hear about these sort of actors getting the big breaks whilst waitering or doing some sort of just their everyday jobs, and they're discovered for having kind of the right face or a good character. You definitely you're definitely that.
That's what people do say. Yeah, you're a bit of a character. Wajid. I mean, I didn't make it big time. I mean, only a small percentage, but I was a working union actor for 20 years, and it's a very competitive business. So I'm very happy that I did that.
Excellent. Yeah. So, I mean, in terms of your book, I mean, where do you think that how did that come about? What was it that led you to write write your book? Because I mean, it's quite. I mean, again, it's another big sidestep from acting and doing comedy. So, I mean, I'd say it kind of borders philosophy, if you like.
Yeah. Well, it was something that, I published it last year on Amazon, and it was very interesting that when it got published, it reached #1 bestseller on 2 categories, mysticism and spirituality, and the other category was UFOs.
Right.
So it didn't stay #1, but it gave me an indication of the interest that people have. So, things like your show, I think is very vital for people, because these are things that are not discussed in the mainstream media or are hidden. And so in the background, I've always had that interest in metaphysics, spirituality, yoga, but it wasn't something I pursued as a career. It was just something I did, with the organization I belong to, the Ethereal Society. And so it was only recently, even some of the experiences I had, I kind of kept to myself, and I felt because of the way the conditions of the world are going on right now, I felt it was important to reveal to your listeners some of these amazing truths that I discovered, and let your listeners be open-minded enough to make their own decisions. I'm not here to, push any ideology, but just based on my own experiences, I think they'll find this information rather fascinating.
Okay, really excited.
Yeah. Our listeners, I think our listeners are definitely open-minded on questioning on the subjects that we bring along.
I think as well. I mean, we never claim to have the answers as well. Yeah. We like to discuss these things because they don't get brought up in the mainstream media, like you say, or they do to a point where they make a mockery of things and say, "Oh, you get your tinfoil hats on," because we've got it's the joke story on the mainstream media, if anything. And I mean, I don't ever see the harm in asking questions, or, if something's interesting or something's, could give you a bit more enlightenment into the meaning of life and what's it all about and those types of things, then you're going to kind of want to discuss it to an extent, even in conversation.
I think, guys, that the tide is changing. I think people's intelligences are being insulted now because this cover up. People have had enough, and when it comes to the topic of UFOs and life on other planets, and
fundamental need to be answered at the end of the day.
Exactly, and people are getting more wiser. They're wising up, and they realize that there is a cover up, and it's time the truth be told. Absolutely, I agree with you.
Yeah. I think with the UFO and alien sort of cover-up is, now I think most ufologists will probably agree that the only explanation for them to cover it up is to say that humanity wasn't ready at that point, in human history, and say that, we couldn't cope with the idea of, an extraterrestrial life form or life on other planets that was potentially more intelligent than us. Nowadays, I think it's been drip-fed into the consciousness for so long that, do you think that we're ready? Do you think that we're at a point in human history where we can accept that, embrace it and move on? Or do you think that we're still fighting against each other? We're still kind of not unified as a planet enough to take that next step?
Well, we're not unified. We're still fighting with each other. But when it comes to that aspect, there was a front page article. I think it was in Time magazine a few years ago, and the title was "Are We Alone in the Universe?" It's like, really, are you really insulting our intelligence?
It's not even a question that really needs asking.
Yeah. And so I think the tide has changed. The UFO phenomenon is not going to go away. Flying saucers have been seen in the skies for the last 18 million years, and they will continue to be flying in the skies. But the question is, why are they here? And so I want to lead your listeners to what I found out in my own research and my own experience, and maybe enlighten your listeners to exactly what this phenomenon is from. And again, it points back to my own spiritual yogi master, an Englishman by the name of Dr. George King, who I decided to follow since the age of 16. I was being born in Pakistan, I had a kind of a Muslim upbringing. I went to church, I went to mosque and read the Quran and did the prayers. But at the same time, I also went to a Church of England schools where we did Bible study, hymns, carols, and so I got the best of both worlds in Christianity and Islam, and I just realized that they were just two different paths to the same source. And then I met my yogi master at 16 and decided to follow him. Nothing against Christianity or Islam or any other religion. I totally respect all religions.
No, but you came to an independent decision. That I mean, I've always said that if I was to ever have children, that'd be the path. I'd teach them the different
Give
religions,
them the tools and let them
make that own judgment call. So I think that's and I think for yourself, it's quite a bold thing to say, well, look, I'm kind of got both sides of these, I'm going to kind of take the best of both and go in this direction instead. So anyway, carry on. Do apologize.
Yeah, it was an individual choice. I think they say when the student is ready, the master appears. So that happened to me, and I think it was also recollections of things that have happened in my past. I'm a firm believer in reincarnation. I think it's a subject that really needs to be looked at, and is something that the world really needs to study, because some of that information, reincarnation, has also been suppressed. But coming back to my master, he was in his early 20s. He was a section leader for the London Fire Brigade during the Nazi Blitz over England. And, he had a terrible task of, search and rescue, and he had to pick up pieces of little children, and it really bothered him, why all this suffering. And so after the war, again, something prompted him from his past, and he decided to get into a deep study of yoga, not only just, the physical aspects of the Hatha yoga, but into deep breathing, mantra, and he would do yoga for 8 to 10 hours a day on top of his regular job, which at that time was a London cab driver. Wow. And for 10 years, he did that till he reached a certain stage of evolution where he could raise his consciousness, raise the power of Kundalini up to higher psychic centers, where he could achieve deep states of samadhi, cosmic consciousness, to the point where he was then contacted by the beings who man these UFOs, which I refer to. I call them the cosmic masters, and I believe that these people not only millions of years scientifically advanced, but they're also millions of years spiritually advanced than we are. And so he would go into these positive states of samadhi, or cosmic consciousness, and he would receive mental impulses from these higher beings, which he would translate through his larynx. Being an Englishman, it would come out in English. And there was a bunch of up to 600 cosmic transmissions that were relayed to him on top of mental transmissions later on in life. And so it was through these transmissions that I studied that a lot was revealed. Two things in particular. the true history of mankind. And so, I'd like to relay quickly some aspects of that, because right now, let's face it, we're not doing very well. We're in the middle of this pandemic, and then we've got endless wars going on. We've got an economic system that favors the minority of rich people. Yeah. There's making millions poor.
Yeah.
It does seem every time you turn on the news, there's another tragedy or crisis going on at the moment as well. Yeah, it does feel like we're in some sort of transitional period of. I couldn't even tell you, but carry on. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, the media. If their motto is "if it bleeds, it leads," and this continuous barrage, and we've flying saucers and conspiracies and this, that. We've been molded and brainwashed over the centuries to conform to an ideology which is totally wrong and sometimes extremely untrue.
Yeah.
And so, and today again we have division between races, we have divisions between religions, and it's just a mess. And so the main reason for me writing the book, The Struggle for World Sanity, is to let your listeners know that, despite everything that's going on right now, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is going to be change that's going to come, probably not tomorrow, next 10 years, maybe not in 100 years, but within a few centuries, it's been predicted that things are going to completely change on planet Earth for the better. So that's one of the main reasons I wrote the book, and the reasons I'm on your show is to give your listeners hope that there is a
future.
Yeah, there is a future for planet Earth. And so again, one thing that was revealed in these cosmic transmissions, which actually Dr. King also wrote this book back in the early 60s called The Nine Freedoms, and in there he wrote down you can get The Nine Freedoms from Amazon as well, but in there
I'll leave a link in the description.
Yeah, sure. And in there he wrote the complete true history of mankind. Now, a yogi master like my master, actually I find it interesting that I'm from the East and I'm following a master from the West, which is a strange paradox because most people in the West, they go to the East looking for yogi masters in India. So that's unique in itself that this guy from the East is following a Western yogi master, which I think was one of the greatest yogi masters that ever walked on this planet, but unsung and unheard because he kind of kept low key. But coming back to the history of the human race, a yogi master like mine or the masters from India, they have tremendous powers. They can levitate, they can go through walls, they have tremendous healing capabilities. And one thing that my master could do, he could look at your aura and read on your aura contains all the history of your past lives. So he could easily read your history, and he actually confirmed an incarnation, a past life that I was in. He read my aura once, and so on a larger scale, I think most of your listeners realize that this planet Earth is not just a piece of rock; it's actually a living, breathing goddess, which we refer to as the Mother Earth. So on a more higher aspect, a yogi master is able to project from his physical body in his astral body, and that's what my master did. He projected from his physical body, and just like the auras of man, the Mother Earth also has an aura, and so he was able to read in fourth dimensional color sequence the complete history of the planet, and not something that the historians teach you. And in the East, they refer to these as the Akashic records. So he was able to read those, And so what he said 80 million years ago, we actually lived on this planet by the name of Maldek. Now, Maldek was a planet that was in orbit between Jupiter and Mars, and it was a green, prosperous world. He said that it was very scientifically advanced, that robots took care of all the menial tasks on this planet. They could control the weather, abundance of food. And, you know, the Bible talks about Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden and the fall of mankind. And I think that, to me, it's a bit of a fairy story, but it has a lot of truth in it, because what Dr. King said, that the scientists on Maldek got this lust for greed and power, and they created this atomic bomb, which he said was 10,000 times more powerful than the atomic bomb on Earth, and they completely destroyed our home planet, Maldek, with this terrible destruction. And all that's left of this planet that we inhabited is the asteroid belt. And scientists have also concurring now that the asteroid belt was a planet that was actually blown up.
We've talked about this on the show before, where there was supposed to have been a planet, like you say, between Mars and Jupiter that was destroyed, that was somehow wiped out of existence. There was also kind of like, obviously, talk of saying that Mars could have been potentially involved in that, or in terms of that's the reason why Mars is barren now, because the effects of this, 10th planet that was in orbit was destroyed, that potentially could have affected life on Mars as well. So we've discussed several theories on this missing planet.
Yeah. And they're finding mini planets within the belt as well.
Right.
They're just recently finding that there's actually like mini Plutos within there, and they want to actually go out there and examine to see how the structure
sort of
works.
Exos.
Yeah.
They've also discovered a larger planet that's on the opposite side of the solar system from Earth, so we can't see it. Yeah. But they refer to this as Planet X.
Yeah.
And they say it's like 10 times larger than Planet Earth, and they know it's there based on the pull of, I think, Neptune and Uranus, on their mathematical calculations. Yeah. They know that it's there. So I'll go into Planet X a little bit later.
Ooh, Taylor's a big fan of Planet X. Yeah. You see, he's we've been talking about Planet X since the beginning, and so whatever you've got to say, he's going to be well interested. So
yeah.
Well, that's why you pay me the big bucks to be on your show, to reveal things like like Planet X.
That's it. We only get the best in.
So anyway, I'm glad you guys are on the ball when it comes to Maldek and Planet X, and that's there could have been a possibility of physical damage to the planet Mars. I can't back that up. I think that's a plausible theory.
Yeah.
So everybody that was killed were released on their different planes of existence, because there's no such thing as death. There's different planes of existence, and so the Mother Earth was actually approached and asked if she would hold up her evolution and take on these. That's a revelation that really shocked me, the fact that we're all extraterrestrials. We're actually not from this Earth. Our home planet was Maldek. And so the Mother Earth, the cosmic hierarchies approached the Mother Earth and asked if she would hold up her evolution and allow these atomic mutations to reincarnate on Earth. And at that time, Dr. King said there was another advanced race that was living there called Adamic man. And so the Adamic man agreed to help these reincarnating mutants over thousands of years. And then he left, and we inherited the planet. And so over a couple of million years, the civilization of Lemuria came up. And again, Dr. King said that it was much more advanced scientifically, culturally than the civilization that we have now. And again, Lemuria fell under atomic war. There was an atomic war in Lemuria, and down fell Lemuria. The Earth flipped on her axis, and down went the civilization. And then thousands of years later, the civilization of Atlantis came up, and again that greed, that lust for power
seems to be a pattern emerging here.
It's just within us, and some of the Vedic teachings, they talk about vimanas and light beams and rays during these terrible wars that they had on Atlantis. And Dr. King said one side made a controllable atomic ray called Indra's dart, and another side made an atomic bomb called the Brahma weapon, or weapon of God, and again down fell Atlantis. Under the Great Flood, the Mother Earth flipped on her axis, and Atlantis is under the waters. And so again, coming up to today, right after the World War I and II, one of the greatest horrible purges of mankind, what did we do again? We started exploding the atom again, we started exploding the atom with hydrogen bombs, and it was really interesting. In the 50s, that's when the flying saucer sightings were seen in the skies. There was a concern by the cosmic masters, and it was known at that time that the Mother Earth was due to be killed by mankind because of the radionic emissions were choking her. And they intervened and scientifically absorbed a lot of that radiation and saved not only the Mother Earth, but everybody on this planet. And it was at that time that Dr. King was contacted by these higher intelligences. And so that's the reason why they're here now, is first of all warning mankind that we need to stay away from doing this again.
Would you not think that this sort of, coming from the horse's mouth, if we were to be kind of approached by these beings to say, look, you're on your last chance now, the planet can't take it. Stepping in and intervening, or do you think they're doing that, but that information's being shielded from us as the general public?
Well, I'm hearing there's possibly a war now. There's a war with them, and that's why certain things have happened. Because and totally with UFOs and us messing around with atomic matter, it seems to be that near enough from the 50s onwards. When people were seeing UFOs and getting abducted and coming back, a lot of it was to suggest stop messing around with this.
It did seem to be all around that time period, wasn't it? And it was all coming out, and it was like, all of a sudden, UFO sightings, and I'd say that was, rather we've achieved that next stage in scientific technology, and they've taken an interest because we're doing something good, or they're taking an interest because we're going to blow ourselves up, and they need to intervene.
To be honest,
exactly.
A lot of the transmissions from the higher beings talked about the dangers of atomic experimentation, that it not only affected the physical plane, but also the different other planes of existence, and could actually affect the solar system. So that's why the intervention came. And also, coming back to these cosmic masters, Eastern philosophy, Hindu and Buddhist philosophy talk about different levels of existence on this planet. And, and of course, Dr. King also projected to these different levels. And he said that on planet Earth, there's 4 levels below us called the lower astral realms, and there's 6 levels above us. So it only goes to show that if there's and we can't detect these till we die, and there's no scientific instrumentation. Of course, there's some people who are psychic, and they can
susceptible to these things,
they can see people who passed on and stuff like that. So just in in the early 50s, Dr. King wrote another book called "You Are Responsible." Didn't say, they are responsible. He said, "You are responsible."
But I think
he had experiences where he projected to the moon, he projected to Mars, to Venus, and he talked about advanced civilizations living on this planet. Now, just on the physical level, I have to agree with the scientists that the possibility of life, say on Mars or Venus or Jupiter or Saturn, is probably on a physical level for physical humanoids is probably non-existent. I have to agree.
Yeah.
But they don't look into the fact that...
No, you're right, actually. They don't actually look into the... I hope this is where you're going with it, because this is where it kind of sparked. They don't look at the other planes of physicality or, matter, whereas we assume that we've got a kind of a spirit world and other realms and these sort of fields that other animals can see that we can't perceive because of the way we're built
to it yet.
And to even think of this sort of the same thing happening on another planet, is that where you're going with that? I mean, in terms of like spirituality
and He went to Mars and Venus, and he said there's advanced civilizations that live there, but on levels like 4 and 5.
Wow!
But not on the physical realm. He said that you could actually go to Mars and live there for 200 years, and you will not detect these civilizations unless they either approached you or you reach such a high level of evolution that you could project to those realms. Now, scientists, in quantum physical equations have determined that there are parallel universes.
Yeah.
There are realms above us that we can't see. So the question is, how come they don't openly land, or how come we can't see them? We can't see them because they're on a different level of existence. Yeah. That's why we can't see them. Yeah. And sometimes people have seen flying saucers just appear and then just disappear, because they can appear on the physical plane, manifest on the physical plane, and then just go back to another plane. So that's how advanced they are. But as far as contacting mankind, they did directly contact mankind through the transmissions, which Dr. King, and if people are interested in what they had to say in regards to these transmissions, they can go to his organization's website, which is aetherius.org, AETHERIUS, and again, make their own observations, their own research, just the way I did. So, like I say, I'm not here to convert anybody.
No, I mean, I'm quite interested to hear what they had to say, to be honest. So, I mean, that'll be something I'm going to be checking out. So, I do recommend other people do as well.
Yeah.
Right. And the thing what I want to let your listeners know is that, there's been a lot of theories about abductions and aliens being nasty and stuff like that. I want to change that concept, because I think a lot of that, I don't think is aliens. I think it's there's agents. I think there's demonic forces in lower realms of Earth, and they attack people when they're asleep, or they abduct them, and a lot of those could be psychic kind of interferences that are Earth-based entities. But these cosmic masters are not only millions of years scientifically advanced, but they're also very spiritually advanced, and I think they're very caring. Dr. King asked once, he said, if you were going to take over the planet, how quickly could you do it? And they said within 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest.
So that's the kind of power that these people have. But at the same time, I think Gaz was asking, well, how come they don't reveal themselves? There was another transmission where one of the cosmic masters said, well, you want a sign, how about you give us a sign? Are you going to welcome us with open arms in peace, or are you going to point a nuclear warhead towards us?
I think it's a communication thing myself, that it's like us turning around and talking to an ant and realizing their basis of how they live to how we live. I mean, we used to always think that the Queen was the one that took in charge of everything. But actually now science have just found out that no, the Queen just is to make babies. That is it. The rest is all done as a community, not as individualized.
So it's how you. So you think it's how you understand the species you're approaching, if you like.
Yeah, and you've got to understand it more than just visualizing.
Well, I suppose it's the same as in like if you're a businessman visiting another country and you try and kind of adjust yourself to their cultures to try and make a good impression, I suppose, and seal the deal. But you were just mentioning there about kind of like forces on earthbound forces, stuff like that. We've talked and discussed about stuff like sleep paralysis in the past, where that could be a potential, demonic, earthbound presence. I mean, you've got to think about it like even in terms of, you mentioned it earlier actually about kind of some truth in these stories in terms of like the Garden of Eden and Adam and Eve and stuff like that. I mean, and I've got a theory as in like the planet Earth, in terms of the story of Noah's Ark, and I've mentioned this on the show several times in terms of like the diversity of life that happens to be here is staggering compared to our neighbours, and even by 100%, and the idea
but that's strictly on the physical realm.
Oh, in the physical realm, exactly what you're saying, but it, and so in terms of what is actually here, it could be triple, life forms in terms of what we know about.
I consider ghosts as one realm.
I mean, in terms of the truth in it, I mean, you were saying there we were from this planet Malnak, and we've kind of Maldek, and we've had a catastrophe. We've moved to Earth, which is a theory that again we've discussed in terms of seeding planet Earth. We weren't originally from here. So could it be that all life on planet Earth is potentially been brought here as a safe haven for life, if you like, to flourish? I mean, like there's too much
like
here.
Noah's Ark.
Yeah, like the story of Noah's Ark is the story of the planet Earth, if you like.
Yeah, exactly. I have to agree with you. But, the cosmic masters, they refer to us not only in this solar system, but we're known in the galaxy as a very savage, warlike, cruel race. And so, we were offered this classroom, which we call Earth, and what have we done with it?
We've just we've
raped her of her resources without giving anything back, and our endless bloody history, and so. Yeah, and so what they're saying is we didn't come here to suffer. All this suffering is a result of our own actions, and what they're saying is, look, at one time you were highly evolved beings. It's time that you change yourself spiritually, not religiously, but spiritually, and start raising your vibrations and going back to the gods that we were at one time. We've regressed so much that it's just ridiculous. But because we regress so much, the rise could be even more spectacular. So we've reached a crossroads now where either we raise our vibrations or eventually we may have to leave this planet. And that's where it's come to. Now, there's two reasons for that. First of all, if you study astrology, we're under the influence of the planets. We're now in what's called the Aquarian Age. And the push of the Aquarian Age is pushing that mankind come together as one, service and cooperation and helping the planet. That's one push.
Fifth Age of Man.
What's that?
It's called the Fifth Age of Man. There's 5 ages of man, supposedly, and this is the 5th age that we're beginning. But we will not know when the end will.
That's what we were talking about earlier. We were saying, like, in terms of how many, that would make sense, wouldn't it? In terms of how many kind of your Dr. King spoken to the Mother Earth, and he's and said that there was 5 or 4 other civilizations or, you know, that had come before us
and the technology's
failed,
getting better
and
and
there
better
was
as it's
a
gone
cycle, you know, of. But in terms of reincarnation, and this kind of makes it the whole thing come together in terms of reincarnation and learning lessons along the way to be able to transcend, you know, into, you know, and go to that next stage. Are we kind of just trapped here on Earth until we've learned our lessons personally, but in terms of a global consciousness as well? Do you know what I mean? Like the way we all think together, like rather than individual lessons learned, a global way of thinking.
There's a lot of spirituality. Yeah, in ufology now there is a very much so a lot, and they do seem to be getting answers from it as well, because they do like circles and like you know, ask the UFOs to turn up, and they do actually turn up, and other weird stuff actually happens. So yeah, on that realms, I think that we do need to go back in that age of learning instead of abusing as we are doing now.
Oh, well. I totally agree with both of you. And coming back to reincarnation, Gaz, that's another thing that Cosmic Masters are really pushing, that the truth of reincarnation be reintroduced back to Earth. Did you guys know that there's Christian scholars right now that are coming out saying that reincarnation was actually taught in the Christian church, and they actually stopped that teaching?
Cut it out of the teachings.
It was in the teachings of Christianity, and they deliberately took it out and put this one life in so that they could control the masses. Even that truth is coming out now.
Yeah, that makes actually a lot of sense. I mean, I always think that, you know, there's a lot of truth in the reincarnation thing, and even if you kind of break it down to if you want to get sciencey around it and say, well, we're all made of atoms, and atoms will eventually become other things. Carbon atoms will eventually become a flower or a bug or a ladybird, whatever, you know, further down the line. So, but it's the soul and your spirit and everything that you are that I think is the more, you know, the bigger question, because you want to know
will you lose it or not?
What you are and your essence will continue on and become something more, and if there was something that I didn't learn the first time round, I mean, am I being kind of forced to go and live another life to try and learn the lessons I didn't in the previous? And I think there is something very kind of, even, where am I going with this? Even more kind of along the lines of a personal truth, you know, on that, where you can kind of learn a lot about yourself and think about if I did go round again, what lessons would I learn, and try and ask those questions now rather than wait to find out, if you like, you know, people know themselves and they can kind of ask those personal questions. So, it's a good reflective tool.
It also explains the so-called inequality on the planet. Why is somebody born blind? Why is somebody born with cancer? Why does somebody plays the piano at the age of 3? I mean, all these things are from that people have gained from their past lives, and so this one life to live is just total untruth. And another thing, once reincarnation is reintroduced back to the planet, is people will think twice about going to war and knowing that the person that they're going to kill could be somebody who was their mother or father or a brother or sister in the last life.
It takes karma to a whole nother level as well, doesn't it? I mean, in terms of future karma and not just living a good life now, but thinking about the repercussions even lifetimes away.
We need a big injection of that right now. A big injection.
And that's the message also that the Cosmic Masters are saying, is that, you know, coming back to you said the fifth age of man. age, which is the age of Aquarius. Another aspect that your listeners may not be aware of, but on July the 8th, 1964, the cosmic masters got together, they surrounded the planet, and they actually sent a tremendous amount of spiritual energy into Mother Earth, which was called the primary initiation of Earth. And what's happening now is the Mother Earth had a choice. She could have released all those energies at once and reclaimed her position in the solar system, but she decided not to, and she's doing this very, very slowly. So every year now, the vibrations of the Earth are actually being raised. And so we have a twofold thing. We have the push of the age of Aquarius and the Mother Earth raising her vibrations. And so don't believe this rubbish about climate change being carbon emissions. That's just a small aspect of it. In the 50s, the Cosmic Masters said that there will be climate change on the Earth as Mother Earth raises her vibrations. They talked about, first of all, the ionosphere being taken down, which was actually put up and intensified after the destruction of Lemuria and Atlantis. It was physically put there to stop man getting higher inspiration. That is coming down, and that's causing the heat level to go up. That's why the ice caps are melting. And what's been told is that there will be eventually a temperate weather conditions on Earth in the future, where there won't be the 4 seasons, but more of a temperate weather. And so all these changes that we're seeing is not the result of carbon emissions. Again, carbon emissions is a small aspect of it. Again, the media has not discussed this.
The media does
it is a result of the Mother Earth raising her vibration.
Well, you see, I've actually said this a number of times again. I mean, I'm not to say that we haven't affected, and like we've said earlier on in the show that, you know, as a species, we've not done Mother Earth any favours.
Any good.
But I do believe that we're on, you know, natural cycles, and kind of the Earth is a living thing itself, and to take for granted this 4 seasons that we've just been privileged to be living in under, you know, for this amount of time, and to an extent we've kind of grew accustomed to the way it is, and now that's taught in schools that there is a spring, summer, winter, autumn, you know, not in that specific order, but, you know, there are these 4 seasons, and that's what to expect. Whereas in reality, we cannot judge what the planet's going to do, or how she's going to react, or what she's going to do tomorrow, because we can't take that for granted. It's just a living organism that we happen to be privileged to live upon. So, you know, I do think you're right in that respect, and I do think that there is some aspect of it that is our influence, but a lot of it is down to the way the planet is evolving within itself.
I think our subconscious as well is determining us that, like, we in some kind of way tricked us into thinking we're not on a ball going through space. Well, really, we are a ball going through space. We could be destroyed at any moment. Anything could happen. We are so vulnerable, but we seem to have the high ground of nothing.
No, but this is a thing. This is again the divinity comes into it again. Then, because you can start saying, well, obviously, you know, there is all this going on. We're hurtling through space on a planet, and yet we are sort of looked after, we're protected, we live on a planet that happens to sustain us, and, you know, those questions start coming up in conversation of, well, why are we here? What happened? I mean, you know, so, I mean, in terms of kind of the big questions, it's too big. But in terms of the UFO sort of cover up, I believe that we're coming to a point in rather the government and the higher powers on Earth rather give us the gist and say, this is what's happening, this is what's happened since the 60s or since our first encounter, and this is the history we've had with them since then, and or they're going to reveal themselves, and our government's just going to be known as a lying sack of shit. Like, we know they are, like, and keeping this information from us, but like you say, in terms of like alien abductions, I wouldn't say they were all sinister. You know, I think some of them are quite...
No, but it was abuse of what the supposed instructions were being, because they didn't want us to know they were here, but they were happy to deal with the crooks and the governments and stuff. But we're getting little bits of information, but we're not advanced enough. We're still in that stage.
I agree. I think we're waking up, but I don't think we're there.
But there has been abuse from the so-called agreement. Was that they were supposed to take few people. They were supposed to tell the government who they were taking, how long they were taking. They were supposed to have been hypnotised or however they do it, brought back and not realise what's gone on. Like what we would do if we were going out there and looking after an animal, would shoot it to sleep so we can go and fix it, then go and put it away.
This is the what the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind was actually based on. Am I right? The Project Pharaoh. Yeah. And like they say, he was supposed to have done like a trade deal with them or something, like in terms of sending 12 people up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Doctor, I quote a quote from a transmission I put in the book from a cosmic being under the pseudonym of, he was called Mars Sector 6, and he said that flying saucers are real, flying saucers are friendly. Your government knows this. And so another cosmic master said that, look, we've approached the governments of the earth. We've even approached the Vatican, and we've opened ourselves up to them. And they have not listened because, you know, they want to stay in power. They don't want the people to be revealed.
It's funny, actually. The Vatican... Oh, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. The Vatican actually turned around and said they do now acknowledge alien life, and asked on their stance on it, they said, well, God created us, they created them as well. So it doesn't really matter to the Vatican now, they're saying, because, well, it's all under the same umbrella, if you like. So I thought that was quite funny.
Somebody said that the Pope will baptize aliens, but I'm not sure if the aliens want to be baptized.
I know, yeah.
Totally.
Typical Christianity, isn't it, that? It's like, hey, you need baptizing.
But coming back again to the abductions, I think again, I feel the abductions are lower demonic forces. I don't think they're the actual cosmic masters. So I have to differ on that, because, like I say, if they wanted to control us, they could. But they're kind of keeping it in the background right now. They haven't. They said they would love to openly land amongst us.
Yeah. But
right now, we're not in that level of evolution. We have to reach up to them.
Yeah.
They can't reach down
more
to us.
More spiritual.
So, exactly.
Yeah.
We have to change our concept. And what they're doing, again, coming back to this raising of consciousness, I believe that this is the beginning of the end of mankind in a positive way. This is the beginning of the great change.
Feels like it.
It's not might. There is going to be a spiritual renaissance occurring on this planet in the next 1,000 years. There is going to be an age where there is going to be no wars. There's going to be no famine. There's going to be no political system. And there is going to be utopia again. But again, it's up to us and what we have to do in order to do that. And another reason why the Cosmic Masters are here is there. You know, Dr. King, in the book The Nine Freedoms, he actually projected on this particular one spacecraft called Satellite Number 3, and he has a description of his visitation to this spacecraft. And this spacecraft comes into orbit periodically around Earth in different times of the year, and he observed very advanced scientific radionic equipment on this spacecraft. And in a transmission, one of the controllers of the spacecraft said that on their highly advanced computerized systems. Now, just to give you a basic scientific Earth technology. I mean, with a GPS satellite now, with basic Earth technology, we can pinpoint anybody on the planet with a cell phone.
Yeah, easy.
So if you look at that on a higher, take that millions of years scientifically advanced, they're saying that on their computer systems on this spacecraft, they have a complete individual frequency identity of every man, woman, child, plant, rock, and fish on this planet on their computer systems on this satellite.
And this answers my question.
I believe that, actually, yeah.
This answers my question to the thing that I kept going on about for the last couple of months about how you spot a UFO, look at it. As soon as you start looking at it, it'll start filming it. It's gone.
Yeah, and it's gone.
It knows that
you're looking at it. Yeah, you've said this before, and we've never been able to answer that question.
And the satellite, I think, is Dark Knight. Dark Knight, it goes around Jupiter as well and around Mars, and it comes back here. It's the one Tesla found, believed that he found the satellite up in the sky, the one that was photoed by
it's been photographed
NASA.
A couple of times.
Now, the question is, why do they have this dossier? Why are we online with them? And one of the main reasons that we are online with them on the computer systems is that, like you said, they can pick up our thoughts.
Yeah.
And the speed of thought through a human body has been calculated to be like 600 miles per hour. But the speed of thought in free space has been calculated to be like 4 million times the speed of light. So with their advanced computer systems, if we think about them, we can actually contact the cosmic masters, and they in turn are actually sending beams of spiritual energy to us. And that's another reason why they're here is to help raise our vibrations. Is they can channel the energies the pranic energies coming from the sun through their computer systems, through us individually or collectively.
So, what can we do? Our listeners at home, what can we do personally to try and raise our vibrations, to try and kind of be able to kind of try and experience some of this? Or I mean, does it take years of teachings, or can you? I mean, where would you start?
What kind of direction would you direct someone?
I mean, I'm really interested in all this stuff, and I mean, just on a personal thing, I mean, where would you start to try and start to understand this sort of stuff and try and?
All I tell your listeners is that if you think of the cosmic masters, they will pick up your thoughts. They say that the higher beings on Saturn know the thoughts of every live stream on Earth. So if you just think about them, and bring energy down as a white light through the brain, over your shoulders, raise your hands, and send out this white light through the palms of your hands, which are psychic centers, and the heart center. One way that you can actually physically, this is an energy that's actually physically, it's just like electricity, but it's on a higher vibrational octave. Your listeners can actually go in front of a mirror, say in your bathroom, raise your hands, and you can visualize this white light leaving you, and it'll reflect from the mirror, and you can feel it tingling around your fingers and around your aura. So it is a very definite energy. It's not something airy-fairy. And so the cosmic masters are giving this, they're actually enhancing this energy for us, so that we can channel this energy out to the world to help mankind, to help the animals, help the plants, and help be part of this rise of consciousness that's occurring. Now, you asked, what can your listeners do? I actually belong to a group of people. We meet online pretty much every day, based in 50 different countries, and we actually pump out this energy every day. So if people don't know how to do that, and again, it's free, it's no cost, they can go online, just go to 12blessings.org, the number 12 being numerical, 12blessings.org, and they can learn how to channel this energy. And the question again is, why are the cosmic masters pushing us to channel this energy? Because if we don't raise our vibrations, I mean, it's prayer. Let's face it. It's channeling the energy of love, love energy, to counteract all the hatred and jealousies and greed that's pretty much polluting. You know, you talk about physical pollution, which is terrible on this earth, but they also don't talk about mental pollution that's around the earth. These horrible vibrations.
Especially at the minute.
Think positive.
These demonic.
Go on, sorry.
The demonic forces in these lower astral realms, they actually feed on this stuff, and so they keep control of mankind by creating these wars, this hatred, this division between races and religions. It keeps them in power. So what the cosmic masters are here at this time, these are highly spiritually advanced beings and scientifically advanced, is that they've come here to help us break this cycle of mental slavery that we're under right now. And that's one of the main reasons they have their craft around the earth right now, is to help us raise our vibes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I think we're running out of time, but is there anything else you want to add?
I got to tell you one thing. Coming back to Planet X,
I was going to say it myself.
Is that if people, the difference now between the last history is that if people are not willing to raise their vibrations, they will not stay on planet Earth. They will be reincarnated after death, and they will be going to Planet X and starting a reincarnation cycle on that planet, because they won't be able to handle the high vibrations that are going to occur in the near future.
Wow.
So that's also another reason why we need to raise our vibrations.
So what do you think's happening on Planet X? I mean, is it? I mean, obviously, it doesn't sound like the best alternative. I think the better side of that coin seems to be
Mars would
staying on Earth.
It's a younger planet as the Earth was a million years ago, and the people who the warmongers and all the people, the demonic forces in the lower astral realms, they will all be reincarnated there to relive the bloody history that we created here. So we have a choice: either we raise our vibrations and stay here for this beautiful new world that's going to occur, or we're in mercy in a way, because we won't be able to handle the vibrations that are occurring. We will be taken after death to this other planet, Planet X, and that's the main crux of their message as well. It's like, we're giving you an opportunity through our spacecraft, through our spiritual beams that we're sending to you, to raise the vibes of not only yourself but the planet and mankind, and stay here or be taken to that other planet. And that's it, guys. That's the crux of the message. It's do or die right now.
Mind blowing, absolutely mind blowing stuff. But it's true. I mean, it is do or die time, guys. And we've got to kind of take responsibility for how we act and the consequences of that going forward.
There's always consequences for your actions, and our actions have been poor for the last 100 to 1,000 years or whatever.
18 million years.
Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it?
We've been poor for that long. Now we need to step it up, boys and girls.
We need to get out of the gutter. That's what we need to do. Do you want to plug your book and let people know where they can get it?
Yeah, it's on Amazon. It's called The Struggle for World Sanity, and it's available in Kindle and paperback, and also audiobook.
Yeah. Make sure we'll put the link in the description, and definitely check it out. I've just downloaded it. I'm going to be listening to the rest of it over the next day or two.
If people want to contact me, I have an acting website, but I'm not here to promote acting. But they can I have a personal email. They can contact me, which is Wajid, the number 4, gk@gmail.com. So they can contact me on that one.
Brilliant. And we hopefully you'll like to come back on the show again in the future.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
Absolutely. Maybe after you read the book, I can come back and
have a discussion about
more.
It. Excellent. Yeah. I'm sure we can. Well, thank you, Wajid Hassan, for coming on the show. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah, it's been wicked, man.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
So we've got a promo this week.
We have.
Our promo is brought to us by Fading Memories podcast. Fading Memories. It's pretty special, this, actually. Fading Memories is an Alzheimer's disease-related podcast for those who care about loved ones with memory loss.
Yeah.
It's a really, really good podcast. It's got a really great host. You want to check them out. And stop listening to me ramble on about it. Here's a promo.
When you're caring for someone with Alzheimer's, it's normal to feel alone. Searching for answers to daily struggles and challenges and not finding solutions is also normal. There are books and Facebook pages galore, but when you're caring for someone with such a debilitating disease, time is a precious resource. I know. My mom had Alzheimer's for about 20 years, and I was her primary caregiver for the last 3 of them. I searched for solutions and a little bit of hope, but answers didn't come easily. One day, I realized a podcast might be the solution to that struggle. Only there weren't very many options, so I created the Fading Memories podcast. My name is Jennifer, and I talk to people who have the answers to the questions that regularly frustrate caregivers. Join us weekly, wherever you get your podcasts, for information, inspiration, and honestly, some very needed laughs.
So thank you, Fading Memories, for that. And moving on.
Yes.
Oh, it's been such a great episode this week. I'm really pleased. Yeah. We've got the news.
We are.
It's the news!
Ba-boom.
And as usual, we've scoured the World Wide Web.
World Wide Web?
The World Wide Web.
Whoa.
To find the craziest, weirdest, bizarrest, I don't know, just news.
Yeah.
Just stuff that we found interesting, and potentially you can too. Got quite a lot of it as well. Plus, looking at some NASA news as well, and some Elon Musk news coming up. Which is, Techno King. Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Can't,
we've got
he's get his title right, at least.
Got to keep him with his title. He asked for it. He gets it. He's got the money.
What Elon wants, Elon. Pardon me. Elon gets.
Yeah.
Podcast burps. I found this story, right, about a man.
Okay.
Who's been on a 30-year werewolf hunt.
Interesting.
Right. He says it's legit, yeah. He's not making this up, right?
Okay.
He came across a car-sized dog with a human face, right? Yeah, back in the 90s, yeah, in South Yorkshire, yeah.
Yeah.
So, was it a moors? Was he on the moors or something like that?
Probably.
We'll find out. But, basically, he's since then been convinced that this creature exists and wants to go out and find it. So he's been on a 30-year monster hunt since 1990, of October 1990. Colin Keatley saw something so terrifying that it's changed his life. And
go on, son.
He spotted a beast running, and he believed it to be a deer, but until it stood up on 2 legs, he says, I won't lie, I was petrified, and the hair stood up on the back of my neck. So Colin, 54, he's a truck driver. He said he wasn't sure if it was a werewolf, but he spent 30 years hunting it and trying to work out what it was.
Good on him, because there is videos out there and there are witnesses out there that are the same kind of issues and seeing kind of things like on 2 legs.
Yeah, well, he drew a picture of it to to show you what he saw, and it does look like a werewolf. I won't lie.
Looks like a demon to me.
What?
A demon.
He says he's not crying werewolf.
Funny fucker.
So, but yeah, it's obviously when you see something in the night.
Hey, boy.
Why did he do that? Right. So, I mean, not that it's got any bearing on the story whatsoever, but they have to just slip in, Colin, who's divorced. It's like, what? Why does that matter?
I'm not going to marry him, you know what I mean? I'm
not thinking, is Colin a viable relationship option?
He might be trying to get a relationship through doing the paper.
I mean...
You never know.
I don't see why that's relevant, Mirror.
Well, totally. But so. I I support his dedication for it. He thought he's seen something. He believes in it so much that he's actually gone out and tried to find it.
When he goes out trying to find it, he goes out fully battle hardened with camo.
Well,
he's got kit. He's got werewolf hunting kit, which includes walkie-talkies, cameras, motion tracking, torches, the usual stuff.
Good. At least he's
no silver bullets.
Well, but then he don't want to get pulled with that. That's 5 years, mate. He'll have to go for his
werewolf officer.
Yeah, what werewolf, son? Next you'd be saying there'd be a vampire behind
I got a picture of him, look.
Yeah.
You're there in a fucking ghillie suit.
Yeah.
Sorry, officer.
You're mate in a onesie. It's like that dog with the spider legs. That was a freaky little thing. Have you seen that?
No.
Someone put like spider legs on the fucking dog and made it run around the streets and scaring
like a viral
people.
Video.
Yeah, it looked like a spider running round.
Oh God, no, I've not seen it.
Yeah, you want to look for it, man.
I'll have a Google.
Yeah,
okay.
Definitely.
Any other news?
Funny. Yeah, we have some terrible.
Oh, well, I'm losing everything. What's going on?
Wait,
it's all right.
Yeah,
go for it.
Sweet. Right, well, you remember a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about the devil's shoes?
Yeah, the devil's high heels.
Yeah.
The devil wears Prada.
Yeah, what was it? There was 666 of them.
Oh, yeah, the devil's bloody shoes. Little Nas X's shoes.
Brought out, yeah. Well, they're no longer being sold, and...
Has he took them off the market?
No, he hasn't. Now...
Who did?
What he's done is... Nike has decided to sue.
Oh yeah, because because I think what the point being was they were customs, weren't they?
Yeah.
So Little Nas X, he's got these shoes custom made.
Yeah, Misfits company.
They're not legitimate Nikes. Yeah, but he's had so many made.
Yeah.
It's almost like a run of like trainers, isn't it? It's like if you're going to get that many done, why don't you just get a whole new pair of trainers made? But the Nikes,
how much do you reckon they are?
I reckon on the market now, because they've been banned, they'll probably go through the roof.
Well, no, how much were they on the market when Misfits
$666, weren't they?
No, but close enough for England, because for ours it would be £740. Right?
Yeah, but in America
1,018.
Jeez.
And it was like, whoa.
What's that per trainer?
Well, yeah, it's half. Well,
it's half of it, isn't it? Yeah. Come on, I'm only messing with you.
Yeah.
I know you know math.
Yeah. 509, mate.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
So he's not. They're not selling now.
So yeah, now the Misfits have said like anyone who ordered it, you're going to get your money back. Anyone who's actually come in and bought them, they want back and pay them the money back.
Right.
I want double. I'd turn around and go, I want double now. You've already sold them. Now they're going to be really special editions.
Yeah, but they are, aren't they? That's what I'm saying. Like, if they get banned, then they get taken off the market. If any have been sold, then they're rare as rocking horse shit, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. So the first couple that got them, boom, they've got some money in their hands. Maybe now or maybe in a few more years.
It's like trainers, Texas tees.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's gold on my feet.
Oh, yeah.
I got gold on my feet.
Yeah.
Anyway, have you got any more stories? I've got, in fact, talking about gold and ancient antiquities.
Okay.
Oh, that was a segue.
It was.
Mummies in Egypt. Yeah, they're on the move, man. Talking about werewolves, now mummies.
On the move? What do you mean?
On the move, right. Well, apparently, like, the 18 kings and 4 queens that have been found, and preserved as mummies. They're all being transported to their own
destination.
Well, they're going to the new museum.
Oh, right, okay.
But I thought it was pretty cool actually, because like they're holding a special parade, with a full orchestra, light show, the full works.
Oh, right. So
22 ancient royal mummies are going to be moved from the museum in Cairo
straight to the new one.
They're going to have marching drummers and all that.
Bloody hell, that's going to cost a fortune.
Doesn't matter,
it's not
man.
Like they got the money.
They're ancient pharaohs and kings and stuff. Do you know what I mean? I think, stick them in the back of a transit.
Yeah, but it's not like they're going to go, oi, you know what I mean? I'm royalty here. Like, sort it out. You know?
All right then. But
put them in the back of a van. Bang, there you go, mate.
Yeah, that's fucking what's it in it for you.
Hey, they're going to be showed off in the new museum anyway.
Yeah.
So,
but in terms of respect, they were considered gods of their time. Yeah, I know, but to think that you might end up in the back of a transit, do you know what I mean?
Well, why not? Hey, it's better than being pulled by people.
There's people. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with being in the back of a transit.
No, exactly. You know what I mean? Do up the transit. Put a little pattern on the side and a bit round the skirting.
Other vans are available.
They are, definitely. Well, talking about Egypt, actually, they've just found a new city, an old city that they were looking for. They've just found a new one.
I was going to say, was it missing?
Yeah, it was. There's quite a few missing, I think. I think it's all that sand.
They'll find them.
Yeah, all that sandcastles breaking down.
But that's funny, actually, because they say that, don't they? That the Sphinx is actually more to it, and it's covered up with sand.
Yeah. And there's a tunnel underneath. There's a back entrance.
The pyramids are actually twice that.
Yes,
it just keeps going.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But it's a mystery of the world that we still don't know, or do we?
Get some fucking diggers in and find out.
Well, yeah. Well, since last year, they're not allowed to do anything. They've been closed off.
Archaeology's probably on a bit of a slowdown at the moment as well, isn't it? Because of COVID stuff.
Well, it's before COVID. They actually stopping archaeologists going out and actually doing some work. I don't know what's going on over there, but there's a lot of rowing about it.
Well, yeah.
So
Well, hopefully. I mean, maybe it was because they were doing other stuff, and like I say, this new museum's opened, and it was such a big parade and stuff, and the roads along the Nile were actually closed. So while they transported the cargo, so I think they did. I think it was a nice little thing,
Yeah, I think it was nice, but I think it was a little over the top, to be honest.
Well, if you can't go overboard for your ancient mummy royals, then who can you?
Well, people need cheering up at the minute as well, so I suppose it looks a beautiful sight.
Do you know what cheered me up when I saw?
Oh, yes, I do.
Oh, mate. Well, apparently, right, there's a transformer. Yeah. Hasbro, have made a transformer that actually transforms on its own.
You what?
$700 will buy you an Optimus Prime toy that can actually transform.
Give me $700 and I come round and I transform it for you.
What, like on command?
On command,
Is that like per every time? Or, well, now, because this does it one payment, innit?
Well, yeah, no, I don't do one payments, no.
I mean, as toys go, it's pretty advanced.
Yeah, but from the video I've seen...
It's got real robotic technology, bro.
Yeah, but does
Zero.
Looks to me a bit...
I was doing the robot there for those who... You couldn't see me doing it, but I was doing it wicked.
It was terrible. It was terrible.
Awesome.
He nearly span on his head.
I nearly threw the cardboard down. Go on, anyway.
But would you buy one?
If they were cheaper.
Yeah.
I mean, technology can probably go, get more advanced, but it's like,
microchips and all.
The thing is, there's definitely a market for upmarket toys, and these toys aren't for children.
No, I think they're trying to
You're not buying a $700 Optimus Prime
for a 2-year-old to actually
kid.
Throw it around.
You're just not, right?
It's don't know if you're rich.
There's a brand of toys called Hot Toys, right?
Okay.
And if you're into action figures,
I know.
These are the most lifelike action figures. So if you were to say like the Christian Bale Batman one would look like Christian Bale.
Yeah.
And they come with a load of accessories that you can kind of like, put them in action poses and be like, I'm Batman.
Yeah.
That's like, and they're very detailed, but again, they're not aimed at kids, and I'm pretty sure that this is what that is. It's like, it's too complex, and, it's got, I think, 27 servo motors in it. It's actually...
It's lazy. Why don't you use your hands?
No, as well. Like, I think if if your kid likes Transformers, then you might get it for him. I mean, I know a lot of kids who ended up with those, like, remote control R2D2s.
Yeah, and it's going to last 5 minutes as well.
So,
the arms broke off.
700.
Oh, what? Yeah, 700 quid, lad.
Like I say, I watched the video and I was, like, pretty impressed. It's Optimus Prime, isn't
it? I thought the video was a bit, probably...
Child of the 80s, man. I was like, I want one.
Yeah, I remember when you used to have... Didn't they bring one out where you had a wire one?
To be honest, the part of the fun was transforming it. I mean, if it just sat there transforming... Wow, it's snowing loads.
It's
April, mid-April.
I'm not going to get to
and
home.
It's snowing like the harp machine's on full blast.
I'm going to be all over that road.
He's going to be skidding and sliding around.
I love it.
Anyway, we're not into the weather yet.
No.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So have you seen anything in the news?
Yes, I have. Thanks. Yeah.
Go on then, because I've got this brilliant story. Well, it's not a brilliant story, but like it's a great conversational piece.
Well, archaeologists are coming up with, they reckon now, through Stone Age carvings in Tel Aviv, that man used to actually hold his breath for to put hypoxia.
Right.
So they could get the spirits of the cosmos. So they can call the spirits of the cosmos.
You mean they do...
They're making themselves hallucinate.
Yeah, by
holding
like,
their breath.
What's asphyxiation?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, there's a lot of teachings that'll teach you if you asphyxiate yourself.
Oh yeah, but they're just
like
saying now
Christian Bale's Batman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can get a buzz.
But this is...
I wouldn't recommend it. Do not try that at home.
But this is something that like they didn't think that was actually happening back then. But now they're finding out in some cave paintings that it seems that they are holding the breath.
So what you're telling me is people have been getting high since the dawn of time, and even when there was no drugs about, they just held the breath.
Yeah, just hold your breath for a couple of minutes and you'll be all right.
Sweet.
You're spinning like a tube.
That's quite interesting because actually, you know, I mean...
Does that mean we always needed that?
We always needed a break from the norm.
Yeah, we always need to go to that kind of...
Well, yeah, because if you think about it, it's like we've got stresses today.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, but our stresses aren't the same as their stresses. But a primitive man's stresses would be like, what are we eating tonight? Do you know what I mean? And I need to go out and fucking... or protect my cave or
How do
whatever.
I set that fire up? Where's that woman? Where's my club?
So there's they're different stresses.
Yeah.
But
get that
I reckon there'd probably be days when he's bored shitless and he's sat about and there's no TV and no Tinder and nothing else to do.
Oh yeah, well you go and hunt or sleep or you do something that would be necessarily for you for that time to survive. Whereas now we've got the opportunity to just go and walk away from a lot of things, or just to go to things to make us feel or make our minds feel busy.
Fair.
Yeah.
I concur.
Yeah. Okie dokie, Captain Spock.
Gee whizzes. I found this story here, and whoever's doing this is an absolute nugget.
Fucking tool.
I don't understand why you do this, right? It's been dubbed the Chainsaw. It's been dubbed the Chainsaw Massacre. The Surrey police are hunting for a phantom lumberjack. Yeah. So the culprit struck over 30 times in 10 days. He's working under the cover of darkness along a stretch of river, and just being an absolute tool.
What a toss.
And cutting down trees. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the trees. They're all healthy.
And he's just
I don't absolutely get this. There's people out there, you see them like, with campaigns to plant more trees.
Yeah.
All the time, team trees, all that, and...
Yeah, there's a lad in Yorkshire, he's got a wicked thing going on at the minute.
Good lad.
He's planting 3,000 trees a day. He
What
wants 50,000 trees up by the end of the year.
See, this is it. And then you get just some absolute knobhead who's found a power tool and thinks it's funny to go around cutting trees down. And I mean, it's appalling.
Some people are just a waste of space.
Well, this is it. The trees, like I say, all healthy, have been felled along 2 miles of route. It's just no need for it.
Yeah, but you know what would be the worst thing here? Is the person gets caught and they probably get a 2-month suspension or 2-year suspension sentence, and like he gets a tag for a couple of months.
But what's the motive?
Well, yeah, and prices. See, they get probably charged about 100 odd quid as well.
Well, he's building an house officer.
Yeah, and it's like, he should be paid. He should be paying a lot more, and then he won't fucking go out and do it again.
No, because the thing is, if you work out right, so if you look at how much it costs the council, right,
exactly,
to plant trees, And the council are ridiculous, yeah, because I don't know who they're buying their trees off, because they're always fucking like
she's some rich cunt.
Ridiculously priced, yeah, right? So like to replace a Surrey stretch of trees in Surrey, that's Surrey prices, you know what I mean?
Okay, a good couple of million there, mate. Good couple of million,
and they're only for your bog standard trees.
Yeah. And it's ridiculous. But if the person doesn't get sentenced properly for the crime, then it doesn't stop anyone else or them going out and doing it again. You know what I mean? Because he could go like 2 years suspended sentence. All right, in 2 years' time, I'm going to be a twat again. I'm going to go out and cut them ones that have just been fucking put down. Yeah, well, you know what I mean?
Well, Surrey police have said that a number of trees were cut down first with chainsaw. Around the Colway Sale area on the 28th. Since that time, Surrey police have looked into it and identified 20 other incidents.
Fucking hell. And he didn't have the balls to use a fucking pickaxe, so he had to use an electric tool to fucking do it, didn't he? Didn't have the muscle behind that fucking brain of his.
That's what I'm saying. It's just some fucking numpty who's worked out how to use a power tool.
You get balls holes everywhere, mate. It's just, you know.
There you go.
Justice
for trees. Justice for Surrey trees. Hashtag.
Thank fuck for that award, that one where they go and fucking top themselves.
Oh, the Darwin Award. We've not done an extra on the Darwin Award this year yet.
No, but I think that lad should join it.
We might do that. We might put out the extra soon for the Darwin Award winners 2020.
Yes. Oh yeah, I wonder who won that one.
Some idiot.
Yeah. Well, he's not here tonight.
Remember the guy? Remember this guy who farted at a police officer? Yeah.
All right.
Well, he's had his sentence reduced.
On
appeal.
Oh.
He had to appeal.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
so he pleaded guilty beforehand.
Well, he was sentenced for, what was it, provocation or something like that. Farting. Okay. You know, farting on a police officer.
So he was starting something.
Well, it made headlines across the world, and you know, obviously, he ended up getting sentenced for it. But it's obviously, he doesn't seem like a bad person.
No,
it's like good behaviour.
But was his smell all right?
Hold it in, boy, next time.
Yeah, I wonder if it was a loud one or a squeaky one.
Does it matter?
No, hey, to the officer it was. The loud one's like, he's just thrown out in my face.
But actually, if he actually put a bit of effort into that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going, I had that curry last night. I'm going, fucking mate, you walk away from me. Come
on.
Well, you do get people like that.
You
do,
know what I mean? Yeah. I'm sure. Do you know this is it? It's one of those things that men do, and women in relationships. Yeah. Do you know they'll fart on each other? I'm sure there's listeners out there who are thinking, "Yep, I know exactly how that feels."
Under the covers, have a sniff of that, love.
Yeah, what, the Dutch oven?
Yeah, that's the one.
You get Dutch ovened. But like, if you got Dutch ovened, you just go, "Oh, you dirty bastard!" Yeah, right.
Yeah. You know you're getting them back in the next couple of days.
You wouldn't be pressing charges, whereas this police officer did. He got Dutch oven.
It's assault, wasn't it?
Assault
of his smell.
It's well, I've got a cat that does that to me on a daily basis.
Yeah, I should be charging you. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, right. I'll think about it. I'll see my solicitor tomorrow.
Come on, give me some news.
Give you some news. All right,
hook me up.
Here's some news for America. Bad news, I'd say. Sorry to say.
Sorry.
Portland police, 115 have quit over the last couple of months, and it looks like it's happening.
It's not a good time to be a popo.
Yeah. Well, you know why? Because of the government's actually taken the rights now that actually civilians can sue the police officers. So now the police officers haven't got the backing behind by the government, so they're going, right, well, if you're not backing me, why the fuck am I doing this job?
It's true.
Which is fair enough, because outside the police stations and that are being riots and shit like that.
Yeah, well, like I say, globally the police aren't.
Even if the people are right, I mean, it's not the
We've
got
the
police,
Kill Bill protests over here, and I'm pretty sure that was over a police officer doing something.
Yeah, well, there's always news
very,
on
very dodgy.
Yeah.
Then you've got same things happening in the States.
Yeah.
You know,
Europe. It's all over the fucking show at the minute.
It's almost like, though, when you think about it in like Star Wars, and you've got stormtroopers. Yeah, right. No one gives a shit about the stormtroopers. They're just there to fire.
They're the cannon fodder.
They're there. Yeah. Who's the baddie? Yeah, you've got one baddie in the background.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. And they're sending the stormtroopers out. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
he was just like, no, we've got to go and protect. We're protecting you.
Yeah. Protect and serve.
We're here to protect you, as they beat you in the face with the truncheon.
Yeah, as soon as he fucking copper the eyes on you, it's like, bam, I'm having you, son. You looked at me wrong. But it's not the police. It's the actual the authority and the teaching. They need to be. We're going to get 20,000 new cops over here, and they're going to be doubly fast through.
Well, that's the thing. No, yeah, but they put through. They don't know the law.
Know the law. Yeah, they're supposed to know the law before they actually present it to you. But if you ask them, they don't know the law.
It's like you go to arrest someone. It's like, do you know the law? And he's like, I read the pamphlet.
Yeah. I've got it in my back pocket. Oh shit! No, I
lost it.
Yeah. Yeah,
I borrowed it.
Yeah, and now people are finding out their rights, which they're rightly to find out.
I love those videos, but I also love some of them where they just don't know the law themselves, but they think they know the law, so they start throwing out
on the net,
throwing out a load of jargon. But it's like,
they don't deserve the abuse that they get, but they do deserve a good speaking to about learning the fucking job.
Well, no, because I think when you're approached by the police, you're automatically being put down straight away. Yeah. So it's not like they mean to, but it's already you're under the thumb of the police.
Yeah, they think they've got
the power and the authority.
Yeah, they've got less.
So
realistically,
you're to do what they say as they say it, and it's straight away where you've got to put your hands on the wheel and you've got to kind of, or get out of the car, or if you get out of the car, that's bad. I don't know. Yeah. It's like, so I suppose it depends where you are, but it's one of those where
you need to learn your laws, mate, because like the judge says, there's no excuse for not knowing the law.
Well, no, it puts the person in the car or the person being pulled over in a position where they're already kind of stressed and on edge.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Especially in this day and age. And, I don't understand why the police are all like, why are you filming, or why are you doing this, or when they say, well, it's to protect myself.
Yeah. And then you're automatically suspicious. This is where it goes wrong. It's like, hold on, just because you pulled me over, you shouldn't pull over me unless you thought it was suspicious. Yeah. But now I'm suspicious because I'm filming you. And yet, if I want your video camera that you're filming me with,
I saw one the other day. It was brilliant. So basically, this guy's got pulled over in the States.
Yeah.
Right. And he's been detained because he fits a description. Yeah. Right. He genuinely. Yeah. Right. He fit the description. So this young cop has pulled him over, and he's got him there detained, and he's like, oh, for fuck's sake, I was just going home or jogging or whatever I was doing. Yeah. That was it. He was jogging, and he said because he saw him running and he fit the description, he pulled him over.
Something. That's fair enough. That's good reason.
Well, no, but this is it. But this copper has got him handcuffed, waiting for his details to come back.
Yeah.
And he chokes on his chewing gum. Yeah.
Who, the
copper.
Oh, right, okay.
Right? So he's choking. And he has to uncuff him to give him the Heimlich or help him. Yeah. And, he's there like that going, uncuff me, mate, uncuff me. So he's uncuffed him and he saves his life, right? So the cop has gone, you've just saved my life, mate. Just go.
Was this inside the police station?
No, it was out on the street.
Well, I've seen one pretty similar to that where he was actually in the police station and one of the coppers was choking on the side while he was being processed and the other copper had left.
Yeah.
So he'd actually gone over and tried to help him and helped him out of it. And it's like,
well, that's it. He saved his life. Yeah, but and this is the point. It's like he'd been pulled over and detained and actually cuffed. Yeah. And now if he was guilty, he had a choice. He could have turned around and went, uncuff me, I'll help you. And then bolted, and left him to it. But he didn't. He was innocent and he helped him. And even though he'd been pulled over, detained, cuffed, inconvenienced,
it's more to do with the attitude.
Still did the right thing, and but it's all beside the point anyway, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, it's all to do with the attitude. Like it used to be the copper would come up and, especially with kids and shit like that, like. If they seen a kid being naughty, clip
your
round
local
here or
Bobby.
Take it down to your fucking mothers.
You see, that's funny because growing up in Manchester, I don't think we had local bobbies like that.
No, that was the time when he would go away.
Whereas I had friends in Yorkshire and we'd go visit and you'd go out in the little Yorkshire village, and the police knew all the teenagers, and
exactly.
They'd be like,
"You're gonna be a little bastard when you grow up."
How do you know the police? And it's like, because we're always getting in trouble.
And it makes you think as well. Again, it's just like, he knows my mum. He's a local cop. Oh, I know what he's going to do. No, I can't do that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Whereas,
that kind of thing. Instead of now, it's like, well, there's no coppers around. That door's open. Fucking, I'm going for it.
Well, the thing is, I mean, it's like, would you say that having more law enforcement and a bobby on every corner would be safer, or more of? Would you see that as more of our liberties taken away, more of our freedoms taken away? Because there's two sides of it. There's people who'd say, I'd feel safer with police.
A bobby, but not more an officer.
Yeah, but they're not. It's one in the same, isn't it? Well, it's not a case of like,
officers are out there to
our
get your
ideals
money.
of an old school bobby wearing his fucking pointy hat and just wrap you on the wrist and send you on the way, or tell your mum. Like, they're not like that anymore.
Well, what's happening around now at the minute? Where
we got to get the numbers up.
Car parts are getting fucking nicked, and because there's no bobbies around, there's no cops around walking around like there used to be. There's no
but there's no fucking
cameras in a fucking car. Yeah, that's what they depend on.
This is
fucking
the thing.
Cameras.
Cameras are everywhere, but it's like they don't seem to
was a deterrent back in the day.
Solve the crime.
Yeah, but if you don't see a camera, it's not going to deter you. If you see a copper, it's going to deter you.
In some cases, but it's like,
Well, like you've got cameras everywhere, so it's a cheap way of a bobby getting a fucking an arrest as well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
So
bring back the old bobbies, man.
Bring back old bobbies. Yeah. Kill the bill.
Yeah. Get rid of the officers.
In a more cuddly news story, this is a warm and cuddly story for you, Taylor, and I think this is a job for you, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Because married women, apparently, are paying top dollar for professional cuddlers.
I advertise.
It's hard times, man, and, people need a cuddle every now and again.
I remember looking at...
Why does it just necessarily have to be married women?
Well, that is true.
I'm available for 24-hour cuddles.
Yes, we are.
For the 30% of the women who do listen to this show.
Yeah, and now it's
on the stats, it's 30%, and Taylor is single.
Yeah.
So am I, so
So I like a little cuddle too.
So $80 an hour.
Just
to hold her. Just to make, stroke her hair. For an hour.
For an hour? Hold on for an hour.
Well, she might want to make you a brew
30 quid.
First, or whatever.
Yeah,
or you can make her a brew.
Hey, that's a good idea. Be a gentleman first.
Yeah, have a coffee, and then just say, do you have to wear... would she request like a nice woolen jumper or like, something...
Well, that optional. No vest or vest.
Could you go for a run first so you stink up a little bit?
Sweat it, yeah. Well, yeah. I can jog up the stairs and back down.
We do a variety of packages.
Yeah.
So...
just contact us and
the story is having someone to cuddle with has been, obviously, the urge has been quite strong for a lot of people over the pandemic in the last year. But, even being in a relationship, people still need a good cuddle.
They do. Yeah. Definitely do.
Some people aren't the cuddling type, but how would you feel about that? You'd be a cook.
I remember bringing...
Do you know what? Yeah, she pays the guy $80 to cuddle him, but I sit and watch, dressed like Batman.
I remember...
Exfisciated. I can't even say it now.
Jobs in Japan, this is a big...
This is a genuine job.
In Japan, there's loads of them going off. They've been going off for years over there.
I just love the title, Professional Cuddler.
Yeah, because I was thinking of doing it over here, but would it take off?
Taylor's Cuddling Service.
Yeah.
It's all worth a try.
Yeah.
What do you reckon? Taylor's Cuddling Service.
Yeah. I'm a skinny boy, but I'm a nice little cuddler.
There you go.
If you want skin and bones, bang, you got the right man. Yeah.
Oh, mate, if you like being poked with elbows and knees.
And ribs.
You've got a deal.
Oh, we got a Mr. J.
He won't go high. Oh, bloody hell, he's roping in everyone now.
Oh, yeah, we'll get Jay in it. I've got a couple of lads who like a cuddle. Yeah, this is a business venture.
We've got bears. We got skinny guys, whatever you need.
Got a pet dog. There you go. A cat. Cuddle a cat. Yeah, puppies. I might buy some puppies. There you go. Buy some puppies and some kittens.
You're making me go fucking off track now. Right? Because I'm imagining all this. Like, wow. Do you know what?
Yeah, mine's got me going now.
Forget the cuddling. We could just have puppies.
Get it? Yeah. Why not? Yeah, horse. Buy a horse.
No, you're taking it too far now.
Elephant. Have you ever stroked an elephant's leg? There you go.
Like I say, he offers a variety of packages. So, I found fucking hell.
You found fucking hell? Oh, we've been looking for
that. Chill out now. Right. Have a moment.
Yeah.
I know it's been an interesting show.
It has.
You've been enlightened.
I have.
Talking about cops, actually. Cops. There was a chase that happened in, I think it was Oklahoma City, right? This guy stole a Doritos truck.
Oh, no.
And went on a not so high speed.
Yeah.
It was not so fast.
Not so fast.
He basically stole the truck, thought it was a good idea, and ended up in a slow speed pursuit.
Oh my!
With the police there.
Was it worth it, son?
Joshua, what is it? Joshua Carp.
Was it worth it?
Was the perp? Why Doritos? It was like he didn't get hungry.
He smashed off his head or something. He must have been drunk or something. He must have been smashed out of his head. Did he really think he was going to escape in the Dorito?
It's pretty easy to spot, isn't it? It's like, what we're looking for, Doritos van. Right, there he is.
Yeah, we've only got one in the area. Yeah, no prob, spotted it.
So the police chased him through 3 counties.
So he did
go for about 90 minutes before shooting out the tyres and arresting him.
I would have thought he'd run out of petrol before him.
For serious, the guy was on it. Well, he filled up. That's where they spotted him. He was filling up when they spotted him at a gas station. So, like, he was on a full tank when the pursuit started. Luckily, he had plenty of dip and chips to keep him going
snacks,
for sustenance. He was like that going, I'm prepared to take this as far as it goes.
All the way to Mexico.
Well,
I'll show them what
I'm pretty sure they've got plenty of Doritos in Mexico. They do like their own there.
That is true.
I'm pretty sure they're nicer. It's like when you go to
it's the proper stuff.
The place, and you like and you get the stuff from the place.
Yeah.
And like Guinness, you go to Ireland and you have a Guinness. Yeah, right, and it's the best because it's fresh.
Yeah.
From there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same. You go to Colombia, and you can
cigars.
get the best cocaine. I mean, coffee.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
it's lovely coffee.
There you go. Anything else you want to talk about?
Some sad news.
Sad news?
Yeah. Prince Philip.
Yeah.
R.I.P. And DMX. R.I.P.
A crazy day yesterday, wasn't it?
Fucked on the DMX
with Prince Philip, I've got to say,
he was 99.
He
2 months
right.
Off his
he's been in and out of hospital.
Yeah.
And he was an old chap. Yeah, right. He's
one
of them though. But I mean, it's one of them where when I was a kid, Prince Philip, I was like confused because he was a prince, but he was the Queen's husband. Yeah. And he always, why was he not the king? And all the rest of it. But
consort.
Yeah, he was consort. Well, this is the thing though. Was the Queen allowed to if we had a king and he married, she'd be the Queen, wouldn't she?
King George VI didn't like Queen Elizabeth to marry him because she was only 20 when it was coming. But then when he went to Kenya on a holiday, that was when, in 52, that was when the king died. So then it was straight away, as soon as she come back, bang, you're the Queen now. So she was really young. I think she was 23 when she come Queen. And then, obviously, their love bloomed.
So sad.
But he had it rough beforehand. He'd only just left Greece because, the royal family got thrown out of Greece basically, and he travelled for different places. But he's had an interesting
life,
very interesting
definitely.
life, And he must have been one of the first people who actually turned around and said, like, especially in them days, like, I will do what I can for my wife. And leave the Navy, leave the job, all that kind of stuff, and I will step behind her. Where generally it was men going, well, you're going to do what I'm going to say.
He was like,
you're going to clean, I'm going to work, see you later.
Exactly. Yeah. So he was a very progressive man.
Oh, yeah, and I mean...
For his time, I suppose, wasn't he?
And I was looking...
He was like, can I get a hyphen? It's like, it's all.
And his hiccups that that supposedly are in the papers, in the 80s, 90s, and that he said this: "You're a spade chucker. Do you still chuck spades and stuff like that?"
Yeah.
Well, there was actually talks beforehand. I was watching something yesterday about how there was an interview beforehand with a guide, and he said like, "We're going to have someone, teaching you how to what we used to do and stuff like that." And he was asking the question, "Would you still be chucking spades instead of like sounding
as it a derogatory sort of like,
so the papers, he was the one who brought the papers into the Royals, but he actually regretted it as well.
Yeah, fair enough.
But he's
seems like you know a lot about him.
Well, yeah. I did my.
You see, I always kind of remember him from like the Duke of Edinburgh Awards.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like, and
he was that Progressive and WWF as well. He did.
He'd always kind of like. I mean, I think the Royals do put a lot into charities and stuff like that.
He's the one who changed.
But I
them.
think he kind of, he was one of the first people who kind of started, investing in the youth and trying to kind of set up his own things, weren't he?
Yeah, so, well, that's it. But that was to get away from the palace because because in the palace they didn't really like him that much. They didn't like him that much because he was.
So he wanted to keep himself busy.
Realistically, he is more royal than the actual Queen.
Why?
From his background, because he's got Dutch royalty, Russian, Greek.
Yes.
He's got a couple of more. He's more royal than.
His family tree's got more royals in it than I don't know, deck of cards.
But it's a sad loss. We all knew it was coming at one point or another. But I'm glad, to be honest, because over the last 5-10 years,
he's not been in good health, has he? As well,
and him and the Queen haven't really been, mixing together because she's got to work and stuff like that.
But the thing is, it's like you can tell she's really kind of.
They had about 6 weeks in the COVID thing together.
Right. So
they had a little time beforehand. Yes. So I'm sort of glad over that because. I think
under normal circumstances she might not have.
Yeah, because the last time that happened was when he was in the Mediterranean, and they took 2 years out, and they could walk everywhere. They didn't get bothered on everything. But that was the last time that they'd actually been able to be free, like us mortals down here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, looking at his.
You were saying about DMX as well, weren't you?
Yeah, that was a proper shock. Well, I
thought it was a bit of a shock, to be honest. And do you know what? I thought it was crazy that he released a track yesterday, didn't he? A new track.
Yeah.
Was that? I mean, Bowie. It was a similar thing with Bowie, wasn't it? I mean, like it was the album released days, or if not the day.
Yeah, I think it was the day before or something like that.
Yeah, and this is the same with DMX. And is it was it a planned thing?
Well, I think the reason why it happened was because he was on his way to a gig the other day, and basically he took some substance because he's had an addiction all his life, basically, and he's been fighting it, and it's got him a few times. So he was coming back and he was trying to bring, back his career and that, and he's been doing all right, and then he'd just taken something, and then basically it set a heart attack off.
Jeez.
And he ended up going to hospital having tubes in his mouth and that, and then the other day he had the tubes taken out, so it looked a bit more better, but they did believe
so it wasn't like he planned the track to be released.
Yeah, I think that might have been his company or something like that would have gone. Well,
that's
he was ready.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Well, we're in the Tupac era and that, straight away. They were like,
I suppose it was like a memorial, sort of like a swan song, of memorial track or whatever. Yeah, I understand that, but I think it's just a bit rather coincidental, like that. It seems to happen quite a lot, but.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's an end of an era for me now, because he was like, He was one of the best, man.
Yeah, DMX.
Yeah.
R.I.P., man.
Yeah, defo.
So, anything else you'd like to talk about before we move on to NASA news?
That's it for me, bud.
What about this Elon Musk?
Elon Musk with the... we're talking monkey.
Yeah, I thought you wanted to bring it up.
I was going to, but I didn't think it was more...
What?
I didn't think it was NASA-like.
Well, no, I'm just talking general news.
Yeah, general news. Well,
just now, Anyway, Elon Musk's apparently been doing some mad. One of his companies has been doing monkey research for kind of teaching monkeys how to play ping pong with the mind control.
Yeah,
is that right?
Chips in the brain, side of the brains of the monkey to control their abilities, I suppose.
So I suppose it's like using monkeys to play pong at the moment.
It brings back to me with this. It's like going back to when there were groups that were stopping animals being treated for material for shampoos and shit.
Totally. And
like
do you think we're going backwards? I was going to say I think this is a bit weird. Like brain implants. Neuralink has basically released a video showing how they've taught a monkey, which is it Padja, a 9-year-old monkey that's been taught how to play a game of ping pong with its mind. It is kind of, if that's done with a brain implant, then it is a bit kind of taboo, isn't it?
Yeah, and what are you going to do with it? What are you going to end up putting in people and then be able to control them? Is that the reason why you're doing it?
We've talked about it so much. This is why I thought you wanted to talk about it, because I mean, in terms of upgrading and the next step in human evolution, are we going to be? We've talked about it so much, but I think in terms of are we heading in that direction now? I mean, it's only a small step, but you know how technology seems to progress.
Yeah, but you see this is open and all that. Now, what isn't open? You know what
they're showing you?
This is what they're showing you, and if they're showing you this, then you really want to see what they're not showing you, because it'd be a lot worse. Which they will be doing something else.
There's another monkey in the other room playing Tetris or Mario Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, you know what I mean? He's been beating me on fucking COD and shit. You know what I mean? He's like,
that's probably who's killing me.
Yeah,
to be honest,
some fucking training the monkeys for the next war.
Yeah,
but if it's for the idea,
Planet of the Apes is here, man.
I think it's for the idea of putting an ape to go to, let's say, the moon and controlling it around the moon to see what would happen. But even then, it's still abusing the animal.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I mean?
No, I totally agree.
If you want to do it, get someone
get a volunteer.
Yeah,
somebody
who can death row, bang, get out there.
Somebody who can turn around and go, yeah, all right.
Yeah,
I'll sign a waiver.
Yeah, get someone who we don't fucking need on this planet. There's plenty of them.
Yeah.
Just shoot them on the rocket. Fuck
the thing
off.
is, it's like you can't. Yeah, you're right. You can't ask these animals permission, and they're not consenting.
Yeah.
So
if they did it to criminals, nasty bastards, then
Elon,
I have no problem with that.
Elon, I hope you sort that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be on to you.
Yeah. Get
to
the knobheads. Forget the animals.
Yeah,
mate.
just say, listen. I don't think we should be doing this. Sort of stop it,
especially not.
Or you're sacked.
I think the animals have had enough of us fucking dealing with them.
Sticking stuff up their asses.
I was thinking about this today. What would you do if the animals turned around and went, you know what, I've had fucking enough of this?
Could
What
happen.
I mean? All grouped together and went, right, we want our fucking property back now. You've been stomping all over our heads for God knows how long.
So, yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. So, I think, in terms of going forward, get the permission off somebody and find a willing volunteer and see how many you get.
You can fast track it as well, because the person can talk back and give you the information that you're requesting.
Yeah, exactly. The thing is, they're not thinking about it because how they market that and how they recruit volunteers is they go, do you want to be a cyborg?
Yeah, and
do you want to be a superhero?
Yeah, and
we'll turn you into a Terminator.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, go on then.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, there's more than 20,000 people out there who are willing to get limbs taken off.
Yeah.
So they can have a robotic arm or leg or whatever, and it's like,
totally.
What the fuck? Those who have it
I think if you need a leg or an arm, or
if you need it,
then fair enough. But I won't get one of my fully functioning limbs removed to get a robot.
Yeah, there are people out there who are willing to do it
for the preference.
Yeah, it's stupid. You know what I mean? They need to be.
I mean, there are plenty of people who do body modifications. I do agree. Yeah, right. And this is the next step in body modification. So you are right. There are people out there who'd be willing, I'm sure, to be a volunteer and say, going down in history as one of the first people to have a brain chip.
Yeah.
And be like, I can Google anyone.
Yeah. And you last 4 years because it's fucked your head right up.
You could fuck people's heads up at the parties and start playing Pong on your own.
yeah. Like a monkey.
Just think of the possibilities. Moving on into NASA news. NASA, the Odyssey orbiter is making history. It marks its 20th historic year mapping Mars. It's found ice, water, all sorts of good stuff.
Yes.
It's been vital, really, hasn't it?
Most definitely.
In the sort of like exploration and even trying to find the spot where where NASA have just recently landed and SpaceX.
Well, I mean, we need to keep doing it so we can see how the changes are happening. And like you said, like we found ice in certain areas, and don't forget, hopefully there'll be more technology added on.
Totally.
To it, so it could do a lot more later on.
This is quite old now. Obviously NASA's 2001 Mars Odyssey spacecraft launched over 20 years ago on April 7th. So making it the oldest spacecraft still working.
It is.
Still rotating and orbiting the red planet.
It is, and it's been. I think we've been grateful for it as well for a lot of the answers that come from it.
Yeah, it was named from Arthur C. Clarke's classic sci-fi novel 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh yeah,
as well. So there's a bit of an interesting fact for you.
It is.
It's I love how they send this stuff out and they think, it'll probably work for a few years.
Yeah, and it lasts a lot. Yeah, Voyager 1 and 2 is the ones that got me on that one.
Is it because they're greatly underestimating, like, the...
They didn't know what they thought in.
Well, they've got to kind of build it to be to last all types of environments, but it's like it seems to be holding up very well and not deteriorating.
They didn't
or anything.
think the amount of energy that was actually bouncing off, to move the craft was actually going to be that strong, and it was a lot stronger than we believed it was, and that's why you can still get contact till now. But it's moving out of the sun's. It's actually moved out of the sun's area, so it's in the void now, which we're finding weirder stuff going on out there at the moment.
Yeah. I see. I mean, God, I sent you something the other day actually, but I want to look into it a bit more. But about a whole new force that's been discovered. Which science have no idea about, but like they're hoping to get some answers.
Yes.
In fact, that's the Hadron Colliders, but I think it's another one, a smaller
it's the American
particle
one.
Accelerator in America, isn't it?
I just hope they got the numbers right.
Well, I think it's I think from what I seen, it was just like a matter of who can experiment the theories that actually give them the answers first. So it could be CERN who break that, but it also could be this team in America, but there's also
the Chinese one.
So
that's a massive one that's coming up.
So that's pretty interesting.
Interesting years coming up with science, I must admit.
Talking about actually, we've got this. You were talking about stuff going up into space and lasting.
Yes.
Found this story, which I thought was pretty cool, but interesting, quite funny at the same time, and proves a point, because we were talking the other week about how SpaceX have just released their Skylink or Starlink satellite system for global Wi-Fi. And the UK's released their version, which is called OneWeb, which again is going to be a satellite
system,
sort of Wi-Fi medium, I suppose.
All
using satellites, right? Now, we're sending a lot of crap up there, yeah, right? I mean, the Sky... is it Skylink or Starlink? Starlink and OneWeb both use satellite arrays, right? Now, it didn't take long, but apparently one of SpaceX and OneWeb satellites were basically in a collision just feet away from each other, or feet away from crashing into each other. Oh, so they crash?
Must have been a very close encounter.
Oh, nearly crashed. You see, that can't.
See, that goes. Yeah, see, some news articles.
Do you know what? I
hope
they crashed. No, I'm joking. I thought they did, but anyway.
No, but the article shows that. Oh yeah, they've crashed. But then when you read it, it's like, no, they nearly.
Yeah, they were 190 feet apart.
Ooh.
But it just goes to show that they've not even finished sending up the satellites yet.
No.
Right?
And we've already got enough fucking shit up there as it is.
I mean, how can OneWeb track SpaceX's and vice versa? They can't. I mean, they know where their satellites are, but if they're all in low Earth orbit, then there's only so much space in orbit, because if you think about it...
I think it comes under NOAA.
Well, how do you do that? I mean...
Organisation that gives you the rights on who can leave the planet and who can't, basically. That's what
but like that in terms of kind of working out where those satellites live in orbit,
Well, I should imagine there's a single hub that all these satellites and all the items are being...
That's what I'm
I know
saying,
there are ones that are looking at junk.
I'm sure SpaceX look after theirs and OneWeb look after theirs, but
NASA does
they've not
a
even
lot of
put
looking as well.
Majority of them up yet. There's still so many that need to go up.
Yeah, and so much to come down.
Well, I think there's only a matter of time before... I think what they should have done was take down the junk before they started throwing up all this new stuff.
Innit? It's money, 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 son, I want my money.
No one's going to be able to get into Earth soon.
Yeah,
any life. They're just going to go, well, is there a planet behind all that crap?
Yeah, it's not UFOs, it's space junk we're seeing there.
Space junk.
Which I'm surprised the military haven't fucking turned around and said yet. Mind you, they have with certain things, but like...
I'm claiming all that space junk, it's mine.
Is it yours? Right, can you move your shit, mate, or I'm giving you a fine?
No, actually, I take that back. I don't want the space junk.
Yeah. I thought you changed your mind.
I don't want the space junk.
No. I was going to the golden shit.
I was going to claim it for the thingies because, like, you know, minerals and stuff. They use gold, platinum, and all that. But
I charge you more than that.
They're going to start asking me to come and clean it up soon,
exactly.
aren't they? It's like having a rubbish garden or a bad allotment or something. Apparently, do you know UFOs?
Yeah.
They've been reported a surge in sightings over the pandemic.
Wicked.
Do you think that's just because people are just sat at home
more time to
looking up?
Yeah, I think they have, and I think people have been looking on some of the sites and going, well, here's a question, is there anything... Oh, what's that?
Yeah, well, apparently there's been loads of reports, and obviously, you know, there's one in the years since... oh, wait, hang on. I think I've missed a bit here.
This should be an exceptional year of sightings. Should be.
I think there is. I think there's been lots of, you know, sightings all over from New York and Virginia.
Yeah.
And, you know...
That's right.
There's been a lot more communities growing, do you know, where people are saying that they've had encounters with UFOs, and they're not too sort of bothered about bringing it out now. It's not a taboo.
Yeah,
so it's
cool.
I'm
glad. You don't need to be scared of it no more. You're not going to be called a jerk off for just bringing out this video.
It's mockery, you know what I mean? It's getting mocked and stuff.
If you do, they're the knobheads for not fucking looking at the question.
There's UFO meetups that are happening, basically. There's about... You know, they're happening about, I don't know, every now and again. I'm sure if you search for local ones in your area, you'll be able to find them.
Definitely. There's always an investigator around there somewhere near now.
But apparently, sightings of unidentified objects in 2020 nearly doubled in New York from the previous year to about 300, according to data completed by the National UFO Reporting Center, or... Nerufkuf. Oh, is it? Neruf. They do. Why would you even bother? You'd end up.
Just call it his fucking his name.
Norfolk.
National UFO Report Centre.
Yeah.
Bang.
But why would you agree?
I know.
I don't know.
Because everything is now, you know what I mean?
asking a lot of whys tonight.
You are.
They also rose by about 1,000 nationwide.
Why?
Because people
are looking now. They're actually opening their eyes and going, actually, there is something in this. Let's have a look at it, and finding out that we've been fed a load of bollocks.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that there was probably a lot of people just sat in the gardens with nothing more to do.
Yeah. I mean, I remember a guy in Florida, and he was every single day he'd go, right, I've got my camera, I'm pointing it up to the sky near my house, going out for the day, come back, have a look at the footage, guarantee you can always spot a UFO in there.
Yeah.
Guarantee. I mean, like, it's small white thing, but going fast.
As well, I think one of the bigger things was that because airspace was so quiet, and we knew, and most of the time,
9/11 was a good one for that as well.
We, well, not here potentially, but I mean, it was there
was quite a lot of sightings over here as well. But
we've talked about that about you know, when big disasters happen, there seems to be a surge in them.
Yeah,
but I mean, like, since the pandemic, there was no travel, were there? So usually when you look up at the sky, and you can easily dismiss what you see as a plane, and go, it's just probably a plane. Whereas, no, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a plane. Yeah, I remember seeing something, and it was like clear as day, like something.
Yeah.
But in fact, me and my mate both driving down this road, and we both looked to the left, seen something, looked at each other, looked back, it was gone, and we seen something, but we couldn't tell you what it was.
I knew you were looking at it.
You were saying, potentially, yeah. But I mean, like,
it does seem to be that way.
I couldn't say it was a UFO. It could have been anything.
Well, could you identify it?
No.
Well, it was a UFO then. You're not saying it's a spaceship, but what you're saying is unidentified.
It was an unidentified object, but
you couldn't say it was...
no, but it could have been easily identified, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it wasn't even that far away.
Oh,
right?
Okay. If Specsavers.
No, it was going over a bridge, and there was a building there, and we looked, and it was gone behind the building, but it was like something was in the blocked our field of view.
Yeah.
If I would have got a better look at it, I could probably identify it or give you a better description. But it was one of them.
Quick glance. What the fuck was a UFO?
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Didn't identify. Yeah, that's fair enough. That.
We've got to move on because we're running out of time. But I've got one more story. Have you got anything to talk about? No. Really?
Yeah. I'm waiting on you.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Fucking hell, putting the ball in my court.
Yeah, I'm just loving listening to your work here, mate.
My work?
Yeah. I'm loving the way you're doing it.
Doing what?
You know, just being you.
Sure. You're confusing the shit out of me tonight. Are you trying to wind me up? Right? Yeah. I found this story, right? And it's a conspiracy theory that I thought you might find pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah.
The false claims, basically, linking the birth of Biden and other Democrat politicians to the alleged UFO landing. So the claim... 10 politicians were born 9 months after the landing of the UFO in New Mexico, 1947.
Yeah, the crash of...
So, I think we all know where this is going. So, a social media post shared on Facebook is claiming that the births of 10 Democrat politicians are linked to the alleged crash. It seems to make perfect sense to me.
Well, what are these Democrats saying? Are they going like, let me talk to my leader first?
I'm sure. Nanu.
That's the one.
That's it. They've got to talk to Robin Williams.
Yeah, got to turn to the big chief in the sky.
Back on the mothership.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what do you reckon? I think, you know, this goes to show that people say anything to try. I mean, I'm not, again, backing anyone in particular, but it just goes to show in this smear campaigns of people's reputations or what people find just entertaining.
I mean, one way is entertaining.
If you can kind of attribute a really cool sort of conspiracy theory to somebody and it's funny and it gets traction, then why not?
Yeah, I think they've just put it out there. I mean, I know about the story of the crash UFO because it was one before and
if it's coincidental that 10 of them are born within 9 months, it does seem very coincidental.
Yeah.
And you know what? What we say. There's no such thing as coincidence.
Yeah, and follow the money. And you know they've got fucking money.
And other sayings.
Yeah, there's a lot of them out there. You just got to pick the right one.
What do you guys think at home? If you think there's something to it, is it got legs? Let us know. You can send us an email. You can get in touch. I think that's the end of the show.
I think so.
We've talked enough tonight, I've enjoyed it. Thank you to our guest.
Yes, wonderful guest, man.
Who's
can't wait to see him again.
Obviously, we want to get Wajid back on the show.
Yeah.
Soon. I'm gonna listen to his book, and you can too.
You can
by getting it on Audible. There is a link in the description, so make sure you check it out.
Free for a month.
You can get it free, 30-day trial, man. Cancel. Just cancel it then straight away.
Yeah, and then nothing comes out of your account. Sweet.
Seriously, how you do it is you just go to Amazon, and then you go, I'll subscribe to that. Yeah. And then go straight to your account and cancel it.
Yeah. And not only that.
And you get your book for free.
Not only that. Joking. More important, you will help us.
You will help us. And also, not only that.
Which will help you in the long run.
You'll get peace and enlightenment.
Yeah, and enlightenment, spirit in your heart.
And you'll know how to embrace the coming age. Which is just
fifth age of man.
Anyway, right. So moving on. If you want to get in touch, you know what to do. You've got a question or a comment or suggestion, you can email us at neverstraightanswer@gmail.com.
There you.
You can go on Twitter at NASA_never, or see us on Instagram with some pretty pictures at Never Straight Answer. We're on all podcast.
We are on podcasts and podcasts
all the
as
podcast platforms. So go and subscribe. Subscribe on YouTube. Anchor,
station.
iTunes. We're on Plodcast.
Podcasting Galaxy 67.
Plodcast. It's the new police YouTube where they go and arrest people and pretend they know the law.
Yeah, it's a new cops.
It's like cops.
Cops
bad boys.
On podcasts.
Plops.
Boom.
Plops. This week on Plops. Anyway, we could waffle on all night, but you know where we are. Thank you to everyone who gets involved with the show. Thank you, Harriet, for winning again.
You're a champ, girl.
Thank you to all our Patreons for supporting us. If you want to become a Patreon, you can too. Go over to Patreon, and we're going to end the show. I've been Gaz.
I've been Taylor.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
Plop.